Good morning. How's everybody doing? Ready for the show? The panel, the open panel. Okay, let's click on the news. Central Beirut hit as Israel vows very strong response to Iran. I thought Beirut was in Lebanon. Iran's the other that way. And then the Trump indictment. Biden opposes potential Israeli strikes on nuclear sites. Well, I guess he can have whatever opinion he wants. And damn. The Trump indictment was at the very top of the news. The one that Jack Smith revised. And now it dropped like an hour ago. It was at the top. Now it dropped like 5 or 6 stories down, just like that. That's weird. Maybe there is a conspiracy, a Google conspiracy. Wow. What's up? Oh, are you on the boat?
No, I'm in
Oh,
my truck.
that's your. You still have the CD case. That's a time capsule that you're in. What's up? Did you work today?
No, I made a dump run today.
Oh,
No, come the fuck on, Chad. There we go.
okay. So we're on your seat, looking up at you as you drive.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is my good side.
Where are you headed now?
Home.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Nah,
So this
kidding.
is.
This is my boss's truck, not mine. I tell him that all the time. He probably is the only man I know that still has CDs up in here.
I know. I want to dig through
I
his
keep trying
CD
to talk him into
collection, but
selling me this truck because he wants to go buy a new one. I go, sell me this truck, but he won't do it. He goes, well, I'm not ready to quite get rid of it yet. I do
oh, so
like it.
he's gonna buy a new one, but keep it.
Yeah.
Keep that one.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's 18, I think.
Oh wow.
2,500 Duramax.
Where are you headed now?
Dude, this truck has some balls to it. Huh?
Where are you headed now?
Home.
Oh, okay.
I'm heading
Cool.
home.
It looks like another sunny day there. Hey, fools. Fools and
No,
tools.
it's kind of overcast.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's what the weather looks like here. Like 9 months out of the year. I'm so. I want to know what CDs those are so bad. But I also don't want to pry through people's stuff
I
publicly
tell you
on the
what's up
internet.
in here. We got
Nah.
some. What's he got? He got Puddle of Mud,
Wait.
Nickelback.
I don't want you to wreck either. Just,
We got
it's
some
not worth it. It's
Poison.
okay. My curiosity can
All kinds of
go
shit up in
without
here.
for one day.
All kinds of shit. Poison, Nickelback, Creed, uh, Eminem, Tupac.
Yep, a time capsule, just as I said. Do they even make CDs anymore? Do people buy CDs?
I don't know. As I said, man, I was surprised when I got in here and he got fucking still had CDs. I was like, man, these are the same. Of course, this is the same CD thing he's had for every fucking vehicle he's ever had since I've known him.
You can ask him if he got the new Taylor Swift CD for the old. Maybe they have like a little table at her concert selling them for the old people that still want a CD.
Wow, that's fucking fast. This truck has balls, man. It's kind of
Like the
scary.
little rubber balls you hang off of the bumper?
No, like balls.
Actual
Dude,
balls, not
she
lady balls.
has enough power. This truck has enough power with it that at fucking 25, 30, if he punches it or anybody punches it, she'll break tracks. Like this truck's fucking has some nuts, man. It's crazy. Well, he got it turned up with one of the banks. He has a bank system on it, so
A bank system?
yeah, a
What's
bank
that?
system. It's like a mod for a diesel truck.
Oh, I thought it was like something where you could do your banking while you drive. If you needed to like make a deposit or something, you just punch a button on your steering wheel.
That'd be cool.
The cyborg. It's coming. We're all going to be merging with the machine. We're already partway there.
I'm telling you, man, you should watch some of the Brian Greene stuff on World Science Fair over the AI and shit like that. I'm telling you, some very interesting topics with very smart people. Some people that's the forefront of AI technology. Very insightful.
They have a guy on Survivor this season who's an AI engineer, and you could tell he's a Spurg. And his brain thinks like a computer, and he's the people that's helping to make the AI. So I could see the connection between the two just from watching this one guy. I remember you telling me about Brian Greene. Let's see.
I mean, I'm
World
telling you,
Science
Brian Greene.
Festival, is that it?
Yeah, World Science Festival. Yeah. Like, there's all kinds of things on quantum physics, the quantum realm, the cosmos, black holes, uh, the
He does look
Einstein
interesting
Rosenberg
for
bridge.
science. Here, I'll drop his
Like,
channel.
like I'm telling you, man. Like, if you're into that type of stuff, that's the guy to
I
watch.
used to watch Neil Tyson, DeGrassi, whoever, and until he got all weird on the gender stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I think he probably still knows his cosmological stuff, but at the same time, dude's a scientist. But a lot of scientists are falling for this. They can't separate ideology from observation, and that's what a scientist is supposed to be able to do.
Well, it's like, on paper, right? So, like time. What is time? What is time, Jeff?
I think it depends on who you ask and in what context. Because I
But
think
time in general. What is time?
it depends. It's because if you're asking it from a cosmological perspective, I think you'd get a different answer than if you ask what is it to humans or organisms here on Earth that experience it linearly.
I mean, to me, time's just
I'm
a
a,
thing that keeps everything flowing in a natural order. Keeps everything from falling apart.
oh wow, the AI just got the ability to make images, so that's great. But I'm gonna ask the AI. Let's see, what is time? Time is a fundamental concept that measures how can a concept measure something? The progression of events from past to present into the future. It's a dimension like space that helps us understand the order in which things happen. Um,
Which is what I. But
Philosophers and
technically,
scientists have pondered the nature of time for centuries.
Time's only relevant to you in the space that you're in. You get my point? So,
Yeah, it's like
on
one.
paper, hypothetically, if and Brian Greene covers this, theoretically, if you went into outer space and you traveled 6 months at the speed of sound, speed of light, did a turn, come back the speed of light, 6 months. By the time you reach back, pretty much every fucking person, or it would be every person that you've ever known would be dead, and you'd be on like great great relatives.
Yeah, I remember them teaching us that in sixth grade too. I thought it was interesting.
So,
It says that ultimately the true nature of time remains a subject of debate and exploration. Some
I
believe it's a
mean,
constant flowing forward at a steady pace, but others suggest it might be relative, depending on factors like gravity and speed. That makes more
well, they
sense to me.
say, well, they say things by a black hole slows down. Everything around a black hole slow down. So, like, I guess on that one they will say like for you, 5 minutes will pass there, but in reality, like 2 hours will pass somewhere else because it's the flow. Space time is just that one thing. It's the fourth
Yeah.
dimension. Space
Like
time is.
electromagnetism or matter and energy. Let's see. Yeah, this is fools. This is that subjective time that I was talking about. This human time, the sense. You're like body's sense of time that's passing, or not, because sometimes you're not even aware of it. Your body, your mind, your that sense of time changes throughout the day. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's fast. Sometimes like past time can seem more real than present time, etc. So your brain does all kind of weird things with time subjectively that the
Oh yeah.
universe is not necessarily doing.
But the time, but I don't know. It's just a weird concept to think about
It
it. Like
is.
and but it's one of the things that makes you think and it makes you use your noggin.
Yeah, I think that's good. Where does the time go? What time? It's like noon over there.
12:15. Yeah. Ah, it's just like black holes. They say black holes. Possibly, you could go through a black hole and come out somewhere else. They say
Like in that Disney
possibly.
movie.
Yeah, something like that, like Star Trek, something like that.
Let me see.
But they've never actually like proven it.
Well,
And
let's ask.
I don't know how you really could.
It says, due to their intense gravity, time is warped and distorted near a black hole. It's described by Einstein's theory of general relativity. There's time dilation where it passes more slowly. Like, actually, not subjectively, but it actually passes more slowly next to a black hole compared to a region far away. And then there's the event horizon, which if something crosses it, it can't ever escape, and time stands still. To somebody looking in, it's going to appear as though time froze. And then the singularity at the very center of the black hole is a point of infinite density and curvature. Time as we understand it breaks down at this point. Wow.
But
Time
these
is
are
not even
all
a stable constant.
theories, though. It's all theories, though.
It
Nothing like they haven't necessarily proven.
Let me ask their proof, because it says black holes represent extreme conditions where our usual understanding of time breaks down. The existence of black holes is now widely accepted as scientific fact. Now, while we can't see them directly, there is overwhelming observational evidence supporting their existence. Gravity lensing, X-ray emissions, binary
I was
star
gonna say
systems,
because
and
it does
gravitational
produce
waves.
their event
The
horizon
interior
produces.
remains theoretical, so what happens inside of a black hole is theory, but the existence themselves has been confirmed by observation. Hey, shameless. It's the motion in the moment. Don't get caught up in your. I say get caught up in your emotions. I say that your emotions are a form of intelligence, and that's information. Um, get caught up with them and learn everything they're trying to teach you. Just like you would do with your thoughts. You would follow your thought. You don't suppress your thoughts. You think. You let your thoughts go because that's thinking. Emotions are the same way. Oh yeah, I've had that before. That slow motion experience. Yeah. And even like certain psychedelics would change the perception of time too and make it seem slower.
Dude, I remember the first time I smoked a fucking joint, man. Everything like slowed down. Like, like the very first time I ever smoked a joint.
Yeah, that too. Some thoughts should not be humored. Oh, you mean like personal thoughts? Well, I myself don't really have. If you talk about like dark thoughts, I myself, believe it or not, don't really have a lot of those, so I don't struggle to not humor them. But yeah, some people, I would agree. There are some thoughts that you might not want to feed.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the kind of thinking I was talking about, like philosophy and science and speculative thinking. But you could say the same about conspiracy theory. Like I think there's some conspiracies, think thoughts that maybe should not be humored.
Hey, Jeff, I might lose service just to let you know for like 2 seconds, and I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. I'll, I'll be here as long as I don't lose.
Well, I'm almost in my driveway, and I know I go through a dead zone. So,
Oh, okay. Is your wife home or is she at work?
where,
Oh, so you'll have the place to yourself.
yeah.
Seems kind of quiet today, actually. Other than Middle East, unless you're in the Middle East
It is quiet.
or North Carolina, or if you're Trump, you might not be having a quiet day. He probably did it, and they probably have enough evidence to prove it. The election conspiracy. Talking about conspiracy theories, that there's one right out in the open. That's what a conspiracy looks like, and look how bad they were at it. Well, guys, I guess we're having a leisurely
Might
day
not.
today.
Well, that's okay. You don't need no drama, right?
Why are they playing the Beatles? Is there like her? They should be playing Jumpin' Jack Flash, Crossfire Hurricane. Yeah, it's. I think two things happen. Joe and I talked about this actually. Two things happen in the face of the unknown. Your brain fills in with ghost stories so you can have some kind of epistemic closure, so you can like not be anxious, or you can be cool with not know. Like the unknown is fine. You don't have to know everything, and it doesn't mean that somebody's up to something or out to get you. And I think that's easier to achieve when there's a more general sense of trust in humanity. And if you're suspicious of your fellow man, you're probably going to default to, I don't believe it. Something's not like my brain is telling me all these ghost stories about what's happening. But when you trace the root of all of that, it originates in your mind, usually, like probably 90% of the time. That song always disturbed me. It's such a fun little song until you listen to the lyrics. It's like the irony, the tension between the two. 10,000 Maniacs was good at that too. Like Natalie Merchant could write the happiest, poppiest songs about depression and child abuse and miserable things going on in the world, and they were so bouncy and happy. She even has a a happy song called "You Happy Puppet" about people that are falsely happy all the time, and it's happy, and it's one of the happiest songs they've written. So that was a weird little mix too of like sentiment and content, or melody and content. I think that's my favorite Beatles album, Abbey Road, especially The end, the last song with that guitar solo. That last side, that whole last side where McCartney stitched it together into one flowing medley. Okay, now you're okay. Did you make it to your house yet?
Oh yeah, yeah. I dropped my boat off. I'm going to get my Jeep now.
Oh, okay.
I had to use my boat when I my boat.
Do you think that AI is going to replace
I
lobster
had a
people?
chair. I
Oh, we might be losing signal.
had two chairs that I had to take to the dump, and I didn't have room. How?
Are you there?
I don't.
Oh,
I'm here.
he's
I'm
he's
here.
glitching
Are
out
you
like
there?
Max Headroom. I'll wait till you get a better signal. I had a question about automation. And what's hey Iwan,
What?
um what's going on with those port strikers? I haven't heard another thing about it.
I don't really know. I didn't hear
Let me
nothing
look
about
it
it
up.
till yesterday.
Are you worried that AI is going to automate lobster fishing?
I don't know how it could.
Why is toilet paper running out? Pork strop props panic buying. Are we in the strike port strike day 3? They need to get over this automation crap because that's going to make their industry better.
Well,
This is
I'm not for computers taking people's jobs. Because then what are these people that's been doing it for years and years? What are they going to do now to
But I'm
replace?
not for keeping archaic jobs that we don't need anymore just because people are doing them when we can have superior products and services if we upgrade.
Yeah, but then you still have glitches though. You still have your downfalls with it. Because like I remember McDonald's. When McDonald's started doing them self-service kiosks, right? My wife's uncle, me and him went into a McDonald's and he looked and he goes, "What's the point of this? Aren't you taking jobs?" No, sir. We've created two new positions to have somebody standing in each one of these to help people demonstrate. And he goes, "It's just like anything else, though. Once people learn how to use them, that position's eliminated." And
I
it's
think
true.
they're always going to need a human on hand because the machine's not going to be perfect every time. So I don't. You just need less of the people. You're still going to need people, but there's going to be new positions opening up with new technology, and you may need less of certain people in some areas. But that happens all the time. That's been happening throughout history.
Yes,
And
sir.
so,
Hey, give me
like
a second, Jeff.
technological progress will happen one way or the other.
I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Oh, I thought we were going to get to look at something outside. Um, I mean, I'm kind of the same with some technology. I have a technological limit where I'm not like TikTok. I have no. If the future goes TikTok, I'm out. I'm not getting involved in TikTok. That's going to be my line where I'm no longer interested in upgrading or keeping up with technology. So stuff like that. Kindle. You will if you ever see me with a Kindle, go like call somebody because there's something wrong with me. I have to have the physical book. I'm just never going to be able to make that transition. And so I think we all have our little lines where we just plant our flag and say this is what I'm adapted to and no more. But you don't get to like mess it up for the rest of us. Like the world doesn't owe you any kind of like job security, I guess. None of us get that. Supposedly, if you work for the state, like growing up, uh, we knew people that worked for the DMV and the Social Security office, and supposedly those were like, once you got a job with the government, it was lifelong and it was really hard to get rid of. And but that was also the explanation was why the services were so substandard. I don't know, head. It's bringing us together. Like I'm serious. Like I've talked about this before. Since AOL completely, if I would not have had AOL, my life would have gone one way that I can't even imagine. But because of AOL, it went a completely different way. And then this thing that I discovered in 2020, this video version of it. Let's see, technology happening to you and for you. It's your decision. Yeah, but I am American and Western. I like all of that. I feel a great affection and appreciation for it, and privilege that I get to be a part of it at this moment in history. Yeah, I mean more or less. That even happened with stuff like banking. We moved from checkbooks to online banking, which was that was a good move as far as I'm concerned. Um, it happened with music, movies, pretty much every. If you go back to the '80s and look at my life as a teenager and look at my life now, I might do that one day and see all the technological things that have we've had to change and adapt to phone devices from the rotary to the cordless to the I am my paper copies, and I tell you what else I have. I have this is part of what complicates a move. If I didn't have this shit, I could probably move tomorrow. Crates and crates and crates of DVDs and CDs that I've collected probably since I was at least in college. That's when CDs came out. I even have boxes of my old cassette tapes from the 80s. I have a few. I don't know how they got salvaged, but I have some of my original cassettes from the 80s. Um, I'm keeping all of that. There's a used store like a couple of blocks from my house that I could go turn all of that into and probably get enough money to put back into this stream and upgrade. But I'm not doing it for that reason. If this internet goes out or they start restricting or censoring that, I am having those hard copies. It's my museum, my archive, my vault. So yes, I'm gonna need at least a room in a house, or if not two, for that. A small library, DVD, CD collection. I remember in the '90s, you'd go over to people's houses, and they have like entire built-in shelves, wall, floor to ceiling, of all their CDs lined up, or their DVDs, or whatever they collect, VHS tapes, albums. And IG, that would make, if I was working at the grocery store, I would be so enchanted to have someone write a check. I'd be like, oh my God, I get to process a check. Let's do this together. I'm never going to get to see this again for a while. It would be like something out of the past that I got to witness live. Yes, and RCA. And they had a book version of those that I got some free books off of too. But I did. I would get my. One of them gave you like six, and you might get a bonus. But Columbia House gave you at least 12, and then you had to buy your RCA. You had to buy one, and then you could cancel. And Columbia House, I think you had to buy two or three, and you could cancel. So it was a good deal. It was these little cards. You would get them in magazines, and you could mail them in. This was before the internet, and they had this little catalog of albums. And you could pick like 12 free albums for a penny, and you would tape a penny. They had a little circle where you would tape the penny, and then you would to the card, and then you would mail it off, and they'd send you free albums. And every month you'd get a little magazine, and they had a selection of the month. And if you didn't cancel it, they would send you the selection of the month, and you'd have to buy it, or you could send it back unopened. But all you had to do was buy one CD, like within a year. and then you got like another one or two free albums, and then you could cancel your membership. So for the price of one CD, you could get all these free CDs, and they were like slightly different versions of what you'd buy at a record store. They might have like a Columbia House logo on the album cover or something, but there was some slight little variation that indicated it was a record club version and not. But the music was the same. It was just the packaging. So those were really good deals in the 80s for teenagers that were trying to build their music collection affordably and quickly. Because once you discover music, like you start listening to the radio and you're like, oh, I like that song, I want to record this song, etc. The amount of music that you suddenly want to listen to and acquire increases rapidly, exponentially, like right away. And suddenly there's like 20 albums you want that week because you have all this music to catch up on. And then once you catch up on the and find the genres you like, then you just wait for the artists you like to come out, and maybe it's like one or two a month. But that initial burst of like discovering music, it required you to, because back then you had to acquire the music. You had to go buy it and pay for it.
Yeah.
What's your tattoo? Oh, never mind. Don't show me. Keep driving. We talk about it later.
Well, I'm packed. I'm technically haven't pulled out.
Oh, you're roboting. Ooh, that's a weird sound, actually. It's staticky. It's like a
Is it?
record when it reaches the end of the groove and it just sits there and spins. Like something from a David Lynch movie. Somebody got like arrested for where are they? First of all, where are they protesting DEI? Because I need to go join them. And two, where are they getting arrested for it? I guess I could Google it. Yeah, Leggy, your sound is doing something
Hold
really
on,
weird right now.
Alright, I'll be right back. Some guy just lost his whole pallet of bait, so I'm gonna try to help him pick it up.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
sounds good. Yeah, don't prioritize us.
Alright, bye.
But let's see, what was I doing? Arrested. Is it the Palestinian groups? I've seen something about this. Huh. Was this like recent or is this an old story? The woke. You think there probably is a woke panel verse. We get some leftists here. We used to have a like. They were pretty regular. They were here every day. Kind of a co-host of sorts. Their name was Lib. They were supposedly trans, but they sounded like an ordinary guy. They would only talk with an avatar, so you never saw the person. But they were left. They were like the leftist. It was like The View, and they were the leftist perspective, and we had great conversations. So I think some of the woke panelverse ends up here actually. Hey Jeff, yeah, I liked Lib too. I still like Lib. Oh, so this is. Oh, okay. I've heard of Sticks and Hammer. I'm already suspicious, and I followed him actually. I think, or I used to. Is he a Satanist? Yeah, I remember. He has long hair. Yeah, I would probably arrest him too, because I think he's somewhat of like a troll or an agitator. He's not out there just innocently waving a sign. He's calling attention to himself. Like, what's that face? Alex, not Jones, Stein, or James O'Keefe, those type of people. That's what this younger generation doesn't understand because they're taught that everybody before their generation is brainwashed and mean and scary, and so they don't like they. It's coming from them. They don't know how to have a. They think 90% of America is evil and out to get them. are brainwashed and working for evil people who are out to get them. They're so conspiracy brained. And it's really hard to talk to them because they have such bizarre ideas about our generation. Just like with the boomers, how the boomers are hated now. But the point is, it's taught. They're introduced to stereotypes that are presented as reality, and then they go off of that instead of going a layer or two deep. Yeah. And I was that way too, but I was realistic about my idealism. Like, I knew, like, I didn't expect the world to be okay with gay people. I just wanted to participate in the institution of marriage. So gay marriage seemed like a very realistic goal, like expanding the institution of marriage to include all couples was something practical. It was realistic. It was a smart goal, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time delineated. These people are working off of a vision of human nature which has never existed in reality, and all of their propositions are based on that. And I think it's because they idealize themselves too. Like they have this heroic evolved nature that's capable of more goodness and peace and compassion than all of the knuckle dragging brutes that came before them. But that's ego. That's just as delusional. Like that's just as much of a lower nature as what they're pointing at. That's where you get all the projection from. It's so obvious to me sitting in the center looking at it all. But maybe that's my own centrist bias. Oh wow, Sticks and Hammer is apparently he's in NOLA last week. NOLA is New Orleans, by the way. In New Orleans, Louisiana, NOLA. NOLA. Um, okay, well I'm on his channel. I'll try to find the protest one. Um, that's there are some people that are on the left that are very hateful and see me as far right Nazi, whatever, whatever. Actually, I'm gonna tell you the truth because if you listen to their videos closely, what they think about me is that I'm an asshole. So arbitrarily, I said or did something that made them probably block them because they used to come here, and they decided I'm an asshole. So to give it the proper like social coloring, they frame it as I'm a hateful racist Nazi, but I wasn't any of that till I triggered this person to thinking I'm an asshole first. And so then the person that thinks I'm an asshole goes out and makes all these videos and leaves all these hateful comments and rallies all his leftist friends around me behaving way more of an asshole than anything I could have done to make them think I'm an ass. So again, it's that projection. So I do draw some of that, but I've done that my whole life as a Satanist. I tend to draw people's demons. They call me a shadow worker because people project all their shit onto me, and then when I don't play into it, it reflects back on them, and then they're forced to face that no, you're the person that's coming from that you think is coming from me, and then they kind of have like I don't know collapsing. What is it? Narcissistic collapse. Let's see. Hang on. Let me catch up on. No, he's not. He was here the other day. Frank. Yes, yes. All that apparatus we built up once we got the marriage and became white cis gay patriarchs. Um, that whole apparatus almost overnight. It was like when if you have like a pole stuck in mud and you take the pole out and like that water just instantly starts seeping into that hole. It was that quick. The trans activists, the queer activists, which were the people that never wanted marriage in the first place because they were anti-assimilationists, all of that little alliance came in and took that apparatus and started repurposing it for their goals, but under our brand, the LGBT rainbow community. So now everybody thinks we are also part of that. But it was a completely different group that came and I won't say hijacked. They were kind of sprinkled in the movement from the beginning, but they weren't a dominant force. So once we got our goal and didn't need that anymore, they came in and started using it for their purposes. But they never really made it clear that they were a new wave, a new generation. Frank, can you type something if you're there so I could see you? Frank is awesome. Frank is our original troll. He is our he was here from the start, and he was our resident troll for many, many, probably well over a year. Because I looked at my YouTube list and he was not on it. And he's been in here the last few days and his comments have been showing up. So I don't know. It's not for me. All right. So anyway, that is the story on yes, it is the authoritarianism. It's the bullying. I recognize it right away as bullying, like basic bully tactics. It's the bullying, the intimidation, the entitlement, the narcissistic demand, all of that. None, and children were never part of our agenda ever. It was marriage for adults. It was the right for adult gay and lesbians to live their life without harassment or intrusion, any of that. It had nothing to do with the next generation. That was all left to the parents in the home, and they had what they did have for teens. They had maybe some youth centers, community centers where they could go meet other people like themselves, and some of the schools would have gay straight alliances. That stuff I think was fine at the time because it was needed. Yeah,
So,
that scenery's gorgeous,
I
but
had to help this truck in front of me. You see them blue totes on the back of this truck?
oh
That's
yeah.
full of pig hide. He lost the pallet of it. That's what I had to stop and help him pick it up. So there
I
was
love
fucking pig hide all over the fucking road.
I feel like I'm back home. Man, if it wasn't so cold, I would move to Maine. Y'all look
Well,
like y'all have
no, it
fun.
ain't no colder than where you were. I guarantee it.
I don't believe
What's
you.
your temperature? What's your temperature right now?
It snows here in the winter. Right now it is, but we're not in our cold weather yet.
I know.
Um, ooh, 46. That's pretty cold.
It's 46,
Yeah.
57. And it's an overcast day. Sunday's supposed to be like 75 Sunday.
Does it snow?
Well, it snows, but not like it does like inland.
What? Not lies. No. What kid is if there's a kid still in the closet in this day and age with all this social media TikTok support? Show them to me. Go find them for me.
I think it's probably
And
more
tell him to
where you
come
live
here.
than
Well, I'll
anything.
I'll I'll help him.
You know what? I think it's more where you live, really.
Yeah, maybe there's isolated little pockets. Do you think if there was like say at your daughter's school, are there gay kids, or do you think if there was a gay kid they would have problems?
As long as
Or
it was just straight gay and no weirdness.
it's the trans the weirdness. The gays what happened is gays got
Like
normalized,
no
and all of a sudden two men kissing was not that
no
big of a deal
transsexual.
anymore when all this other weird stuff started standing next to it, and that's where the focus shifted. They like moved
I'm
the
into or
Overton
not.
window and they renormalized us or normalized us. Yeah, head, but you know that's not going to happen. Again, like is realism versus idealism, and I like to plan my society for how people actually are. Like build the laws around people's natural inclinations and tendencies, because that's what you can rely on more often than not. That they're going to default to, especially in a
Yeah,
stress
it's
or a
true.
crisis, which you can also plan for. I would plan for some stress and crises in this society too, because you're not going to eliminate that, and you need some adversity. I know, but
Yeah,
then what? How do you
diversity.
explain civilization? Because we're primitive, but then I look around and I see all of this amazing advanced achievement as well. And so we're primitive, but we're capable of more than the primitive. Um, Dead or alive, I remember that their songs. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Oh, copyright. All you ever want to do is find myself.
Makes
Okay, copyright.
sense.
That's about the time that the gay music started, like 85, 86. The Dead or Alive, Pet Shop Boys, Erasure, all those. That's where all those groups were coming up. Alternative rock and gay club music, modern gay club, developed about the
Well,
same time.
copyright.
We'll find out. I'll be flattered if I get a copyright on that.
I
I'm trying to figure out what your icon was. I love how this is like the new talk radio, but it's interactive. People hop on and interact. Oh, let's see. What is that?
I'm home.
That's your house?
Yeah.
You have a log cabin?
Yeah.
Wow. Man,
I
Maine
was
is
saying my
looking more
yard.
and
I
more
did some spring
appealing every.
cleaning, and fucking, when I did the spring cleaning, I took all the bottles and shit that got blown out. That got blown out through the yard. Now I got them thrown out in the middle of the yard. Holy fuck! Looks weird.
You have to
I got a
clean them
bunch of
up.
shit. Well, I got a bunch of shit. I got a bunch of shit moved that and thrown away to the dump that I've
Oh,
gathered up throughout the years. Like like you buy a new couch. What do you do with the old one? You take and sit it outside, and plans are taking it to the dumps, and it sits there for like 6 months.
I know. That's
So
yes.
I finally got rid of my couch and the two chairs I had sitting outside.
Do they have like those junk services there where they come and pick up your junk?
I'm sure they probably do. That and I cleaned out the old chicken coop. I got the old chicken coop all cleaned out now. Got shit, kids' toys in it. So.
Oh, and do they play in it or it's just storage? Oh, wow.
No, I just got it for storage now.
Yeah.
But
No more chickens.
look, this is what when I dig clams and worms. These are what I use to dig clams and worms with.
Oh
So
my
this is
God!
so
Wow,
that's
cool.
my worm hoe.
I love this. Hang on, let me. This needs a feature.
Yeah, yeah, that's my
Worm
worm
hoe.
hoe. That's what I dig my sandworms with. I dig sandworms. I had some guy I had some guy build me a worm hoe. He's never built one before, and this is what it turned into. Is this right here. It's not the
That's he
prettiest
built
well,
that.
but it
He
works.
like bent. What did he?
Well, he took
He
two
took a
hoes,
pitchfork, a hoe, a pitchfork.
yeah, pretty much, and put a handle on it. And well, he put two together, but then when he bent it, he fucked it up essentially at first. I had to go back and have him fix it. But anyway, that's my worm hoe. This is my clam hoe. I've made a lot of money with this. I'd like to have like a penny for every dollar I've made with this hoe.
Do
So,
you know how to get Jeff's chickens to lay eggs?
uh,
I think you need a
April,
rooster.
no, I mean
You don't? Oh,
April.
cause they
They
put them
should
out whether
start
they're fertilized or not.
They should, depending on what you're giving them for feed, give them layer feed, the laying feed. But anyway,
Okay.
so this was my old clam hoe right here, right? This is my new one. Look at the difference. Hold on, see if I can do this so you can see the
Are they
Well,
both
yeah.
homemade?
No.
Which one's superior, the homemade?
See, look at
Oh
the
yeah,
difference. Now this one was like that when I first got it. That's how much I've wore it off over the years.
they look like the thing I put on my clippers.
Like that's how much I've wore it up down. That's how much use it's had throughout the years.
Oh, it used to be the same
Yeah,
size.
it used to be just like that.
Wow,
Now it's like
damn.
that. Yeah, yeah. Just like this is a bloodworm hoe. Hold on. This is a bloodworm hoe.
How many types of hose are there?
That's bloodworm. That's that type of bloodworm hoe. And I got this style bloodworm hoe. This one's broke, but I gotta
And
get it
those are
fixed.
made specifically for bloodworms? Or
Yeah.
people just use them for that?
No, no, these are what the design for bloodworm. And then
Even this technology fascinates me.
I got this one. I use this one. Well, not this one anymore. This one's retired, but this one here I use bloodworming and digging in clams. But as you see, I got a wonky too, so I've retired it. So it just goes into the. It just goes into the bin.
And that's for
Um,
catching the lobsters.
what?
That's the
No,
lobster bait.
no, those are clams and worms.
I know, but you use the worms to catch the lobsters?
No,
You eat them?
no, you send
What do
them
you
out.
do
You
with them?
send the worms to like New York,
Oh,
Florida,
you
all these
sell
things.
them. I didn't know you
Yeah,
sold
dude, I make
worms.
like 30 sandworms. 30. What the hell? See, I got bottles everywhere. I gotta get it all picked the
Oh
fuck
my
up.
God, yeah. What?
That's what I said. I took us through them everywhere. That's what I'm out here doing now, picking them the hell up.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea that you were in the
Oh,
worm business. That's what threw me off. I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
It is
worms
fun.
are
Hey,
what? So sandworms are 35 cents a piece. Uh, no, 37 cents a piece. 37 cents a piece. And bloodworms are 60, 64 cents a piece.
for one worm?
Yeah.
How much are gummy worms?
Two for $1. Two
Yeah,
packs for a
that's
dollar.
the Jordan Peterson sequel. Clean up your yard. It's
Hey,
coming.
what the fuck happened to? Hey, don't make fun of my yard. I'm cleaning
Well,
it. I'm out here cleaning my yard,
I'm
goddamn.
I'm trying to desensitize you for when the rest of the world's gonna be doing it because you just showed it to everybody. If I
Well,
were up
look,
in
and then
Maine,
I'll
I would
fix the
go help
video
you clean
showing
your
it
yard.
done.
I really would. I feel bad that it's like that.
Well, I mean, not like I'm not cleaning it up here, Jeff.
But we also know that it's very temporary, and you'll get to it in no time.
Yeah, right now.
Oh, okay. We're gonna body double while he cleans his yard. This is body double, folks. This gets shit done. Fuck Mary Poppins. I need to go get some more coffee. Um, I tell you what, Leggy, I'm gonna trust my audience with you. I'm gonna let them
Oh,
watch you
really?
clean your yard for a bit, and I'm gonna be right back.
Well, you're golden, buddy. You're golden. Look, I'll even keep it show everybody I'm cleaning my yard. So they have proof, see?
All right. I hope a bear doesn't come out and grab you. Men doing chores here on Gen X Jeff. Outliers in Exile.
Hey, somebody's got to do it, right?
I love that scenery. Wow. This
Dude, I love it. Like nothing. Like Jeff. Now I'll show you what I'm talking about. Remember, I was talking about how the woman next door went nuts. A
yeah.
lot of people don't understand what
The
I'm
egg
talking about.
lady.
Now, do you see? Like, look. Do you see how you come down right here? Right here's the driveway from the main road. Come down. Right here's my side of the driveway here. Right. Then the other side's the other side. Over there, right, is the other side. This is all the same address. This is all the same exact address. Unit A is my house. Unit B is over there. Other than that, it's all the same address. This fucking lady that was living over there tried to tell me my kids didn't have the right to play where they've played for 6 fucking years before she ever moved in, which is right there in the dirt and in that grass. Not over there by her house, but this grass right here, and tried to tell me that my kids couldn't fucking play there. Dude, the leach field for both houses is on that fucking yard. The well for both houses is over here behind my house. So,
What's the Indian on the littering commercial? Did you make
what?
somebody cry? Hey, Joe.
Hey Jeff, I think Leggy would be a great voice actor. There's so much character in how he speaks.
Yeah, here's what it is. Look, I'm not littering. This is all just shit from storms, storm shit blowing out, and it's time to clean up. The foliage is starting to dissipate, so you can get in through the woods and get shit cleaned the fuck up.
Do you is there hiking in the woods or do you have trails and stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Me and the wife and the kids, we go hiking all the time. So, because my wife's the scout leader, so
Oh, cool.
my wife runs the Girls Troops, which is Boy Scouts of America, which is turning into Scouts of America.
Mhm.
Anyways, my wife runs the girl troop of it.
Oh wow, yeah, I know they're doing that now. It's apparently Girl Scouts isn't good enough. They have to join the Boy Scouts.
Well,
Yep.
look, so this is what my kid explained, because my kid was in Girl Scouts. She went, if I wanted to learn how to bake cookies and go to door to sell cookies, she goes, I'd go to school for it. She goes, I want to learn how to survive in the woods. She goes, I want to learn how to build a fire. I want to learn how to build a shelter. Like these are all things she wanted to learn that she thought from what she got from TV, the stereotypical shit. This is all the things she thought she would learn. She spent like 5 years in Girl Scouts and then realized it wasn't for her. So. And then
What
there
do you
was an
think
op.
about that, Jeff?
I think we're all going to be trans soon anyway, so it's not going to matter. The concept that there's like y'all had something called Boy Scouts and Girl Scout. That's so weird. I, they're doing that with the Catholic Church too. There's altar ladies now, altar girls, altar ladies. So I think in some sense gender is losing its relevance in a lot of context.
I mean, I was in Boy Scouts, well, technically Cub Scouts, but it was just the Boy Scouts back then,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah.
we didn't necessarily see it as a bad thing, right? But I also look back and I think, would it have been terrible if there were like one girl in there or something
Yes,
like
yes,
the
yes,
one,
yes. It would. Men need their own
you know?
spaces. Men need their own spaces. Gays need their own spaces. Autistic people need their. Every group needs its own space.
So what is the problem if like one girl who's like kind of like a tomboy or something decides to join the Boy Scouts?
Because she's not a girl. She's not part of that group. So if it's their own space, then they get to have it just themselves.
Is it
Just
what
like
do
when I tried
boys
to
get
do
out
that
of
all
it?
male panel and it caused all that controversy because people felt entitled to have somebody other than males on an all male panel. They were outraged that only males could come on the panel,
Do you
on an
think there's
all
this
male panel.
perception that there's this perception that something that's specifically for men has all the nice stuff, and that's why people want
I
to
don't
get
care
in on
about
it?
people's perception. We still get
You
to
know,
do it.
At first, I was kind of like the same way. I'm like, it's the fucking Boy Scouts. Why the hell? But then, as I said, once my kid told me that, I could. It was a reason I could back. You know what I mean? Not because like
Yeah,
she was comparing it to. She was just. It was things she wanted to learn that she wasn't learning through the troop that she was
She
in.
used guy logic. She didn't say, "Oh, my feelings, I feel excluded." She said, "I want to get stuff done," and that cuts through to guys.
That's what I'm
And
saying,
so,
man. There was a couple years ago, like 2 years ago now. Me and the wife, we had ran to town or something like that, and the power had gone out.
town.
And well, the heat it got cold in the house. And we come home and she'd built a fire. I go, "How did you learn to build a fire?" "Oh, I did it just like I would if I was in out in the woods and built a fire in a fire pit." She took her flint, did it like shaved the stuff
Oh,
off the
just like
flint,
on Survivor.
used that, sparked it, got her little water paper, put it in up underneath the dry kindling we had inside, and she goes, "That was it." The only
Did
thing
you
she
did
didn't
she
do,
say
she
I
didn't
learned it
back
from
the
the
damper down.
scouts?
She left it wide open, so a lot of the heat was going out through. But other than that, she did right.
Wow. Did she say she learned it from the scouts or the Boy
Yeah.
Scouts?
Well, scouts. She learned it from the scouts.
So
She
they
said,
call it scouts now.
yeah, they're changing it. It's no longer BSA. It's Scouting of America.
Where are the
It's
man
Scout.
scouts? That's what I'm looking for. Do you, like once you leave Boy Scouts, where's the men's stuff? Hey Jody, welcome. Jody High Roller, you're in the right place if you're looking to gamble with your sanity. Joe, do you have any chores or anything you need to get done today that you could use a body double for? We do that here as well.
so Jeff, do you agree with what Internet God said there?
Um, yes, yes, I yes.
It always starts with that
It's
one
it's that
girl.
one gamer gate, that one elevator gate, that one feminist crisis incident,
Oh, I
whatever
loved
that it
Elevator
takes
Gate.
to
That was
rally a
great.
community. I've had entire communities fall apart because one female made some kind of complaint, and then it split the community of those that believe her without evidence and those that
So
don't.
even if it's like a chick who's like the tomboy, like she would kind of fit in pretty well. Her mere presence kind of just it breaches the security system, and then it's compromised at that point. Is the idea or a way of looking at it?
Yes, it takes it from the category of male space to the category of not all male space. So
Okay.
what like any other if this were a product and you were trying to give like the pure version of this product, you wouldn't let something come and turn it into like that kind of quality control would not be tolerated in any like professional industry. So I don't know why they try to make the case for it. In
Well, I'm curious to know more of your thoughts on it because often I hear like the case against women being included in like a male space, and therefore just having a focused point of having a male space usually comes from more of like a heteronormative perspective, we'll say, which is that you could say it boils down to the women will distract the men, right? They see a pair of tits and they're suddenly whatever the mentality of being in a brotherhood is gone, and now there's the paradigm and the incentives are different once there's females around.
like in
If you're
Love's
gay,
Labor's Lost.
yeah, if you're gay, that's not quite the same, of course, right? If anything, if you're gay, being with other men is what maybe produces some of those same temptations, but you're still feeling that straight or gay, there is something that is distinct to an all male space that is lost as soon as you let
Yeah,
one woman or
masculinity.
girl
There's
in.
something that tie all men together. It's called masculinity, and gay and straight doesn't even matter. It's not relevant to it. It's shared by all of us.
Okay.
And I would say the same with neurotypical and neurodivergence. They're neurodivergent males and neurotypical males are still male. Like we all still share something in common as males.
That's why when I say the joke male pattern autism, it's kind of funny because even if you're not actually autistic, you probably still have some things in common with an autistic guy as a man.
Yeah.
Whereas like with autistic women, it can sometimes be hard to tell that they're autistic because they actually somehow learn how to hide it pretty well.
They say women do in general because of the agreeableness that they know how to suppress their feeling, like not let their true
I would say
feelings or intentions show.
the only really maybe good signal of a woman being autistic is that she might be quiet a lot, right? She doesn't speak very much. And even then, some women are just shy, but that's the only thing I could think that you
But
could
then
kind
you
of
have the
use.
spurgs that talk nonstop, and that could also be a sign, like extreme extroversion.
Well, I think dudes do that. Like autistic dudes will just run their mouths, but
Yeah, they spurg.
I think autistic women, to the extent that I've noticed, like or known women who are autistic, I feel like they tend to be quieter because it's part of how they hide it. They know that if they just shut up, it'll be harder for
Yeah,
them
but
to embarrass
well, the
themselves.
ones that don't know that,
Maybe. And it's just
because
interesting
that's
because
knowing to shut up is a bit, you have to have the ability to read some kind of social cue.
yeah, but I still think that's interesting because there's a certain sensitivity that autistic women still have towards social scenarios that non-autistic men don't have. You see what I'm saying, Jeff?
I don't know if it could be generalized like that. It's so
Yeah.
trait specific.
Yeah.
Because I can see exceptions easily for both categories.
Like my pretty bike.
Oh my God, what?
Like
That's your
my pretty bike.
kids?
Would you like
Let's
to go
see.
for a ride?
What gender is the bike for? I can't even tell. It's a
Uh,
very modern bike.
I know. I've noticed that. This part. They all seem to be the same now. Remember the difference back in the day? This was the
We had the
difference.
banana seat ones. Is that the one with the training wheels?
Now there's no training wheels on it.
No trainings.
No training wheels.
Oh, Jeff, you'll like this. A few years ago, in my sister's neighborhood, um, she had these neighbors who are lesbians, and they had motorcycles that they drove on instead of normal cars. So we called them dykes on bikes.
Yeah, they had those. They have actual Dykes and Bikes organizations that march in the parades. They're called Dykes and Bikes, and they carry a
Wow.
banner
Okay.
that says Dykes on Bikes, and they ride their motorcycles in the parades.
Oh, we didn't know that. We just thought, haha, it's funny, dykes on bikes.
Yeah, it was funny to them too. they
Don't tell your coworkers. Here's the thing, though. That's something that is funny, like just being normal. But then someone's going to be offended for them, or whatever.
because they get power out of being offended for them.
Hmm.
It's a chartered lesbian motorcycle club with 22 chapters. Wow, it has a nonprofit status.
Wow, that is amazing. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
We learn our gay history here. This is the education channel
Gay
and an
history.
entertainment channel.
Oh well, I charged my phone. I'm going to be moving around a bit today. There's another board
What do
game
you
thing.
have go,
Yeah,
today?
yeah. There's another board game thing at 2, and then so it's less than an hour my time, and then there's this fundraiser for that campus discussion group I do, the coffee and current events, and there's like a local restaurant where um, the restaurant has pledged to give 15% of their gross sales for people who come in as part of the fundraiser to the
Oh,
club. And so I'll be hanging out with the other club members there too. And I don't know how much people are actually going to go because this is like our first non-regular meeting type thing. So I don't know how well attended it will be. I would hope people would want to go.
yeah, I would too. What you said there might be some news on the dating front too.
Um, Let me see. I don't think I
The
do
B
have any.
movie? Are
Oh,
you into the B movie?
I did message that girl, but she's already stopped messaging me. This is usually how Tinder goes. If the woman who actually matches with you isn't a scam, you'll have a normal conversation for maybe you exchange, 10 to 12 messages between, the two of you. It seems like a normal conversation, and then suddenly she just disappears from your
Because
inbox.
she's filtered you out. She's gotten enough information from that to that happens in the gays
Yeah,
on the gay sites too. The same pattern.
yeah. So I don't know what to make of that because there's not like an obvious feedback mechanism there. And then
Because
of
you don't
course,
know what they're looking for. They're secretly
right,
evaluating you against some hidden criteria, and you're either meeting it or not. And the minute you stop meeting it enough times, which could be one or two, then you
yeah,
get
and
filtered out.
it's so tough because the women in dating app chats are extremely dry. They give one word responses or just, a few words in a sentence. They
Power.
don't really seem to want to pull their half of the conversation. It's like you have to do everything you can to be, pleasant and upbeat and interesting in it with somebody you don't even know, right? It's so, and you can't even like, see if they're laughing or just know what they respond to. It's such a strange, almost inhuman way of interacting. It's like it's part of like the thing that makes me realize like we live in a clown world because it seems like such a terrible way to meet people to date, and yet it's the most common way
Well,
people meet
just
people for
move
dating now.
move to video, like move to a Zoom call pretty early.
But if you do that, then they get nervous and stuff. It's just
Well,
I feel
but
like
that's going to filter out the ones that don't get nervous, or the ones that are your target zone.
well, part of me wonders which of them don't get nervous. So it's a strange thing. I've noticed that um they're in this extremely cautious mentality. If I've talked to women about it, and from them they're like they don't know who like on the dating app is a serial killer or not, and they're thinking about stuff like that. They're thinking about the true crime show that they watched, and it's like Jesus fucking
They don't
Christ.
have to be thinking of that.
No, but a lot of them do, and so
Well, then I would want to filter those out too. That's neurotic.
yeah. Well, then I think at that point I'd just be getting no matches. So um, spoke to
Do you feel like you trigger serial killer vibes?
um I think men in general just do
And
that
autistic.
because
On Survivor, they have an
yeah.
autistic guy, and one of the I can't stand this girl. There's so much anti-male sit on Survivor, and she was describing him, and she's like, "Oh, I totally get like creepy stalker, clingy boyfriend vibes from this dude," and I'm like, "You fucking bitch! It's the autism." And she was evaluating it from a dating perspective, like the guy is giving her a creepy feeling, but she wasn't reading his autism. She was reading it as creepy guy. But that's
Yeah,
what she was responding to. So I think
yeah, and
I
so
think if there's any kind of autism at all, it ups the creep factor for a lot of women, but they don't realize that it's the autism they're reacted to, not necessarily that he's creepy.
I have found that like it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like maybe just a lot of people are determined to find something wrong with you. So like if you come up and talk to them when they don't want you to, well then you're a stalker somehow and therefore creepy. If you mind your own business and don't bother people, then you're a hermit and therefore creepy. So um it's just it
That's I
does feel
just
like
talk to the people that seem normal, that seem like they can
yeah.
have a normal conversation.
Well, that they don't. I have no way of telling them apart from the hundreds of Tinder profiles. So maybe there's not a lot of them on Tinder or something. Or well, I also have a theory that a lot of the women who I guess don't play those games quickly found a man that they like and married him and locked him down before they were too far into their 20s, and therefore they're not on dating apps. And then whoever's left um is or people who aren't doing that. And so it's you're going into those psychological barriers they have that maybe they will grow out of them, maybe they won't, and you're kind of on their time. Whereas if you're um already fine and you're looking for somebody who's on that same level with you, hard to say really what the strategy is at that point if there's just so much scarcity.
Dating apps to me are like they're like leads. They're just a way to connect with somebody off site, like off of that dating app. It's a starting point. You
Mhm.
find someone who the interests match, or there might be a likelihood, and then you move it to phone, video. You meet for coffee. Like I very quickly move it off of the dating app if I think there's potential. It's just the starting point. It's an introduction service. So that most of the dating itself is not happening through the app or virtually.
Not Law said something interesting. Maybe looking at things, I'm guessing he meant in such a fundamentalist perspective is what's holding you back. I don't know what fundamentalist perspective means,
Oh, you
so
don't have to. He's projecting. You don't have to worry about any of that.
normally when I
Indy,
hear
yes,
fundamentalist,
Indy. That's my
yeah.
guy. He was my childhood hero. I would love to be like Indy and or have a husband like Indy. Either one. Both. We could both be. I want an Indy husband and we could go on adventures across the world together.
Don't overanalyze.
We're generalizing.
Yeah.
We're just extrapolating.
I mean, not laws. You're kind of suggesting that after a long enough period of time, people simply just would not be asking, what's going on here, right? Given enough time of no progress, you begin to wonder what is fundamentally going on, right? You're saying like people don't notice patterns that emerge over time. Um, so I think Jeff's right.
I usually am. Almost
Yeah.
always. My success rate is pretty high. Uh, Oh, wow. Okay, let's see it. Leggy, my God. Wow.
It was just cans and bottles.
That was inspirational.
Wasn't
Men
like
doing
isn't like
chores.
my yard was like fucking had piles and piles of trash in it. It was just cans and bottles that blew out through the woods
Are
and
you going to
miscellaneous
like
shit.
turn them
You
in?
know, miscellaneous shit. I mean, because we have to have dumpsters here. It ain't like they pick up trash. So,
Well, not laws. I
but
mean, this is even true sometimes with people that I try to befriend, right? A lot of women will interpret offers of friendship as asking them out on a date, even if you don't say that, and even if if it's something that you're offering to other people in the same social circle, um, and not a lot you can do about that, right? Like I can basically not be a cruel asshole throughout my life, and it just depends on whether or not I get rewarded for that. You know, I can avoid. It's easier to avoid getting punished for things like. Um, I can do things to just completely embarrass myself and burn bridges, but it is hard to build bridges, right? You can stop burning them, but building them is a tricky thing, and it
I,
requires the person on the other side to want to be able to make that connection.
I find the opposite. I find I can build them pretty easily, but I blow them up just as quickly as they get built. I can't
Well, I
stop blowing them up. Building is easy.
interesting. I find that the building is the hard part, and not blowing them up is the
Well, we
easy
should
part.
team up then, because we have the
Yeah,
matching skill set.
yeah. Because I can definitely think about when I was in my earlier 20s, like college age. I could be harsher on some things, and I, lost social relationships over that. And when I toned that down, when I figured out what I was doing and stopped it,
Wait, what were you doing
um,
that you were losing them over?
I could be. So basically, I had a point where when I was like, especially this is the same time I was a more active Democrat, I could be more snobby and judgmental,
Oh yeah, I
and
know that trait.
never to the point of like what you see now, right? But still, like what was kind of I could be what was like a stingy liberal in some moments back in the past.
What leads to
And
that? Like, is it arrogance?
I think
E-
it's a sense of unfairness in the world. Like you see actual unfairness in the world. Like for me especially, like I had just seen the war in Iraq and the Great Recession. So I had this whole idea that just like, it's a heavily unjust system and corrupt and stuff, and we got to do something about it. And if you're not part of the solution, you're probably part of the
So
problem
you
kind of.
have this like this. I you are seeing something that others are not, are seeing further into the problem than the people around you, and so they appear less intelligent or ignorant or stupid, and it's an impatience.
Something like that. And I learned that I had to be more patient about that kind of thing. Like living in a democracy means rule of the people, not rule of the people doing what I, Joe Parrish, tell them to do. And that people have to come to things on their own terms. And moreover, if I try to bully or oppress people into coming around a certain way to solve a problem, whatever force or coercion I use to get people to come around is going to be a bigger problem than the solution I would create by getting them to do that. To tyrannize other people to solve a problem creates an even bigger problem than the one you solved. And so
Yeah.
you have to be patient about something like that. And I think a lot of people who are very drilled into their ideology, whether it's on the left or the right, forget that. So if you look, for example, at a lot of the reaction against, say, the trans activist movement, um, some of what you see on the right among more traditionally conservative folks um, has been just outright hostility to anyone who's trans, even some who aren't necessarily trying to evangelize like trans activism. There are, some trans people who just want to be able to effectively cross dress, say that they're a woman or a man, depending on, what their sex is, and may not actually try to push that. This is more old school trends, I think we're talking
Very
about,
few
right?
people I know have a problem with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I do see that like there's like this overreaction where anyone who's trans, regardless of the fact that they're not being intrusive with it, gets thrown under the bus, and
But
so
but
and
I
this is
don't think
because
that's as common as people think. Like I find that I move in those circles and I find that rare.
Yeah, usually it's just
It's the
confusion.
activism, the tactics, the active and the kid thing. Like that, if you
well,
take that out, most people could live in a neighborhood with a trans person and
so
not be bothered much.
my real point is not so much the volume of it, but that if people want to solve the problem of, say, the excesses of the trans activist movement, you create new problems by also like your solution to that includes going after people who aren't the problem, right? And I know that for some people on the right, that is how it is. Like I in moderating that the IDW subreddit, I mean, I just saw a lot of people who view trans as a whole as a bunch of disgusting degenerates, and they hope they kill themselves. Like it's so,
I never. That's such a minority. I never. And plus,
Look,
that's Reddit. So
look, I think the biggest issue with a lot of people, and when it comes to that, is the fact of the intermingling of sports. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the biggest thing because technically, no matter what, you still got a man competing with women, and there's a reason why they're separate. What leagues like men versus women. Now, obviously, an average dude, if you go up against a professional woman, obviously the average Joe is going to lose. But I'm talking about if you take an NBA player of similar size and stature against a female player similar size and stature, 9 times out of 10, that man's going to beat the woman. Even if it's a transgender, that same person's going to, you know what
So,
I mean?
so
And
the issue is just confusion. Really, we could, unfortunately, with the trans activists, that what we need to do is separate sex from gender. Sex is biological. We can test it. There's just two poles, and 99.99% of people gravitate to one or the other, and there's just some mutants in the middle. But then gender's a social construct like religion.
so are
All
you
we need
saying that sex and gender can no longer be interchanged like it used to be?
well, it really
'Cause I
didn't
mean,
used to
it
be
used to be the
interchanged either.
same, mean the same thing once upon
It's
a
been
time.
socially constructed. Though gender's been socially constructed the whole time. That's what you don't understand.
But see, I was
I'm
always brought up that that it was another word, another way of asking. And your gender is
well,
another way of asking what sex you were.
well, a wild animal doesn't have gender.
Because I mean, I've always seen when I can remember growing up and when I first started filling out job applications, it was gender, man,
yeah, male or
female.
female.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna
And
say
then
yes
and then
then.
eventually you had others added on there. Now you
Uh,
have man, female, others,
uh,
transgender, prefer not to say.
then I'm gonna say yes. The language changed. I mean, it happens. A Latino used to not exist as a race, so language changes.
I just want to let you know I'm
Hey,
about to head
Chuck.
out, Jeff.
Latinos
So
a race? I thought
Oh,
Latinos was
see
okay.
you
a
later.
culture.
Yeah.
Take care, Joe. Have a good
Yep.
time at the events.
Exactly my point.
I mean, that was always Latino people's just that of Spanish culture. People of
Well, yeah,
Spanish culture.
yeah.
The
Hispanic
Latino,
Latino didn't exist till like like the 1970s.
Yeah, but once you say Latino, though, I mean, that's a broad term for all Hispanic
Yeah,
people.
it didn't. We didn't count that as a specific race on the forms till like the 1970s. So language changes.
Even
See.
entire
I don't even see
categories.
that. I see Hispanic. I've never seen Latino as a
Yeah,
word. I've always you see black, white, Hispanic, Hispanic, non-white.
yeah. The
Those are the
Hispanic didn't
top.
exist till like the 70s on forms. They didn't count it. They didn't look for it.
Well, that's because people they frowned upon Mexicans and stuff pretty much until then. I mean, they were
Was it
just
just white, black, Asian, Native American,
Yes.
I
etc.?
mean, the word marijuana, anyways, for pot and shit like that, it come from Mexico as for dirt. You know what I mean? Because they try to relate it to Mexicans to try to as propaganda at first, and then they took it to the
Oh, they tried to
black
make it sound
community.
Spanish so
Yeah,
that the
they
white
really
people
did.
wouldn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. 100% look it up. 100% fact. I'm not making none of
Uh,
this up.
no,
And then it was
Yeah,
it
used
that's
sounds.
and it
factual.
was used for propaganda as far
I
against the
watched
black
Reefer
man.
Madness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be called hemp. All it used to be called hemp when they wanted to propagandize against it, so there'd be less hemp paper and more wood paper.
Yeah,
Th- th-
essentially that's what it was. There was a tax. There was a tax on hemp back in
Yeah,
the
by
day.
big
That corrupt.
newspaper.
That's our corrupt system at work.
Yeah,
But it because there was a whole fuck man, History Channel did a whole thing on it. On there what the fuck was it? Uh Something that changed that built America. One of them series that they have because they have a bunch like food or cars and shit like that there. But there was or Titans. But there was something along that lines that was talking about that
yeah,
impact and shit.
yeah. I named names here. William Rudolph Hearst was the guy responsible. He was the propagandist
Rand
with his lumber mills, trying to put
was
hemp out of
Randolph
business.
William Randolph Hearst,
Yes,
and wasn't Patty Hearst his daughter or related to him?
I don't care.
The one that was kept captured. But well, I care, and it's my show, so I'm going to talk about it. The one that was captured by the Symbionese army. Let's see. Yeah, newspaper heiress Patty Hearst. They kidnapped her in 1974, and she got Stockholm syndrome and became one of them. Here y'all go. Here's a link Hank just shared.
I feel accomplished today. I really do.
Yeah, you. I feel accomplished just watching you.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Between all the junk that we've accumulated throughout the years, uh, like old kids' toys and shit, like it was time to do some cleaning. So I took a good truckload to the fucking dump today. A good truckload.
I know. I wish I had something to clean now. I feel like left that fear of missing out. Oh, our
Uh,
poll is changing. It was like 80% um no, and the yeses are going up. So maybe people have more of an issue with the trans than I realized. At least in this small little community. So I'll leave it up for a few more minutes. So if you haven't waited on the poll and you still want to, there's one up about trans. My thing is just like with the gay, ordinary trans people that are not activists that are not messing with the kids. That most people are not going to have any problem having them in their town or their community or their neighborhood or whatever. That it's just not that big of a deal for most people. They're more worried about the economy, immigration, geopolitics, etc. And that the problem comes when you bring kids into it, the indoctrination, and the activism, the pronoun police, the
well, yeah.
bullies.
I mean, but then I don't know. The pronouns, though, I feel falls in a whole different fucking category than transgender. It really does. Like, you
Yeah,
know
I
what I
think that's a
mean?
form of social engineering and authoritarianism and
Like
illiberalism, and people are
that's
right
trying
to
to
resist that.
redefine definitions and and the way you speak.
But if you have a trans person living two houses down from you, just minding their own business, doing their thing, you're not going to have that much of a problem with it, are
Look,
you?
all right, so we have a trans person in this town, right? A lot of people are creeped out by it because one, it's an older person, like this person's like in their mid 40s, and people knew the person by their real name, grew up with this person. So that for them to go flip flop, it's weird. But I know the person. I mean, I still find it kind of weird, but
They
I
would
know the
probably
person.
say they didn't flip flop. They've always been
I
that.
know the person. I know the person as they are now. So like, it's not it's not weird to like refer to them by their name, like you know what I mean. But for other people in the town that I know that grew up with this person, they still refer to them
They
by the
dead
man
name.
name. Yeah, yeah. Every time they see him,
Good
it's
thing
like,
if
hey.
they were in Canada, they'd be in big trouble, or Britain.
but but I mean, Jenna is Jenna, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's man, woman, and then masculinity, femininity, and they're different things. So you could have masculine women, feminine men.
But the biggest part for me is the sports. That's what the biggest thing about the trans thing I have
Well,
issues
there
is the
is a
whole
say. I
sports
mean,
thing.
you want fairness in sports, certainly. I think that's best left to the sports organizations and
Because I mean
professionals
the
to
biggest
decide and set some benchmarks.
the biggest controversy is about that swimming, that NCAA women's swim meet, where that you had that dude that would swam the year before as a man was like number 258 in the country and went to being number one, number two in the country as a woman. You get my point? Like
Yeah,
as a
and so
man, they
they need
fucking
to
suck.
set the swimming
As a
people need
woman,
to
they were
set
fucking amazing.
the what?
I said, as a man, they fucking sucked and was an embarrassment. As a woman, they thrived.
You talking about that Leah Thomas?
Yes.
Well, they need to set like requirements for who's what. I don't know sports. I don't even know sports language, but you have to have this amount of ability or whatever they
So,
measure by to compete. And if they meet those benchmarks, so that it's fair for everybody. So if
so
she's a
there's
man and
this.
she's outperforming women by this amount, this metric or whatever, then she shouldn't be allowed to do it because
Exactly.
it's not fair. It's a fairness issue.
Exactly.
But the sports people, the sports experts are the best positioned to determine all that, come
And
up
they
with
do
what's
say
best
it.
for their
That's the
sport.
point. That's the thing. They do say it. But yet you have political pressure that creates a different outcome.
Well,
I
they need
mean,
to say no. That's what you do with pressure. You resist. You'd say no.
I just feel like we live in a society where one person's feelings trump all others. Like you know what I mean? Because like the schools around here send home, to my knowledge, there's no trans kids around here, to my knowledge. But the school sent home a fucking memo saying that if you relate to the opposite gender, you can use the facilities for the gender. My kid, even though my kid supports that whole fucking LBGT, she whatever she goes, if a boy walks into the bathroom, even somebody and has a dingaling, she goes, I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. I go, exactly.
What does she have a plan? What is she gonna do? Like leave or can she like? That's an issue, especially at that age. That's when puberty's hitting. I don't want boys and girls bathrooms at school.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You
I
fucking
remember the
bitches.
shit that we used to do in the bathrooms, like not even sex related. But there's a if you were gonna get away with something at school at all,
It
the
was always the
bathroom was the
bathroom.
first
You had
place you were gonna
a
try it.
fight, you went to the locker room. Like, you know what I mean? Fights with locker rooms. Fuck, I can remember getting good many blowjobs in the fucking men's locker room before school started. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I
Look, I thought never mind.
Dude, there is fucking. I know people because the door at the school, you could if you pulled it. Like you like go 1, 2, and on that third time, if you gave it a good yank, she popped free. Well, fucking, uh, I know people that would do that and come into school, fucking middle of the gym. We were wild at school for fucking 400 kids.
Yeah, I thought we were wild down in Louisiana, but Maine, wow, y'all are almost as wild as the Amish.
Dude, dude, if you're old enough to start fucking riding around, you were riding around drinking. You know what I mean?
There's not a lot of drama here at the moment either, Abe. Because I put it behind a paywall, so people's true colors showed at that point how much it was actually
That's
worth
all
to it.
right.
As long as they could get it for free, they're gonna come and
No,
feed
no,
off of
no.
this
Once I get
trough.
to you wait. Once I get to the fucking bank and I make that deposit, you just wait, Jeff.
Are you doing drama court?
Oh, I will. Oh, I will.
Who are
Once
you
I get to the
confronting?
bank.
They have to agree before you waste your money.
I was on the stream last night that said for you, baby, for you, Jeff, baby, go do it. And Mike Throne said that. Those are his
Oh,
words.
yeah, I don't. I'm making a judgment call there, though. I don't think it's good at this point in time to include Mike, just for from like a mental health perspective. And so it like part of drama court has to kind of be in good fun and an attempt to sincerely resolve the drama. And with Mike right now, it's not gonna. I don't think it's really gonna be that. I think it's gonna be more like punching the clown at the circus at the
Well, no,
fair.
no, no. I mean, I do it. I can't go off the handle too much. I just I don't know. I just yeah, I heard him say he'd do it, so I want to be that dude to do it.
You have a lot built up to say to him.
Well, no,
Oh,
fuck it. Probably be
what?
like five
Save
minutes,
your
but
money.
fuck it. Probably be like 5, 10 minutes. I'll be done. But
Oh well, you get a whole hour, maybe
I
for five
know.
or. But yeah, I don't want to. We've tried it. He's volunteered a few times to be a target for that, and I was not pleased with the results at all. I don't think it's a good thing to experiment with.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But if other people have drama that they want to try to air out on here and get resolved, they can do that. Or if people want to confront me, I'm like the backup target for Mike anyway.
Well, Mike's Mike. What can you do?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have to do anything. It's everybody else that for some reason he's all under their skin. I think the people on the other team are worse. I've seen worse coming from their side than anything I've seen from Mike, and that's typical with people on that team. The projection. So I think Mike is a dark mirror for a lot of people. And Abe, as far as the mods, I need demon troll mods. I need very aggressive mods that are gonna not afraid to mash that button.
Well, where the fuck is mine, motherfucker?
Y- Well, you're on panel so much, like it's. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find people that like kind of don't mind staying in the chat and watching the chat too. That's another issue I was having with the mods. Is a lot of them were on panel, and it was hard to mod and panel at the same time. But we are recruiting a little army of demon trolls.
All right. I'm
Um,
on the move again.
I
I'm
want
on the
people
move.
kicked that are trying to get free drama because we have drama court now, and so we have a system where it's monetized and they can pay to access drama. Because I don't owe anybody drama, and I don't owe anybody access to any of my panelists. If they want that access, then that becomes a commodity at that point, and they can pay for it if they value it enough. And so I'm willing to provide that as a service. But so anybody trying to get that for free, trying to come and confront or make accusations or start drama for free, that's shoplifting. They're trying to steal something from me that I'm trying to provide as a service. And so I have a security team like in the stores, the shoplifting team. And so those people I want time them out, like time them out and warn them. Like the timeout is the warning. Like don't stop trying to steal drama or whatever. And then don't fuck around after that. One timeout should be sufficient for them to get the message. Also, I have the here I am He also they I don't know the gender. And Cult of Culture, it's the same person. They have immunity, so no one mod them. If any modding needs to be done, I will mod that person. But anybody else, mod their ass, ban their ass. It's like trying to jump the little subway turnstile. Don't let people jump for free. They got to pay. And not laws. It is intentionally set at that price to disincentive. I don't want to do drama court all the time. I want it to be an occasional thing when people feel like they they want to invest in that, or people can accumulate if several people want to pool together and reach that number. So I want it to be something that's priced enough to make it um, an uncommon enough occurrence. It's not for me to profit from. It's for me to manage the drama on here.
And you're hoping to make a few bucks. Don't lie.
Yeah, and I'd honestly, I'd rather the money come from people that want to support something that helps mental health, helps men, helps people with autism. That's where I would like most of the support to come from, is people that want to help with that problem, like be a part of the solution to that problem. So if my channel suddenly becomes like making the money off all the drama, that's a side benefit, but that's not where I'm aiming my channel at. And so that's more like a tax. That's a troll tax. So if the trolls want to come here and try to use my channel, I'm gonna find a way to profit from that as some sort of troll tax. It's like a vice tax. You can indulge. This is a satanic space. You can indulge your vice here, but Satan's gonna profit from it. And then the people that support it for the reasons of the channel mission, they get the benefit of hopefully watching it help the people that they want to see helped, and watching it grow and get better at that. Yeah, and that applies to Mike too. He usually does pretty well, but every now and then Mike himself will make a comment that's inflammatory or intended to instigate. So if he does that, time him out, and that's his warning. And if he continue, usually that's all it takes. I've never had to do more than time out Mike. But if he does do it again, same as everyone else, just ban. Because even if people are banned in the chat, they can still come on panel. But if they're coming on panel to confront, then they need to pay for it. Yeah, I'll mod you back and see how it goes. Let me we're this is what the probationary period. We're auditioning mods. So if you want to be part of the audition, let me know. There you go.
Please, please send in a signed application with $29.99 as the application fee, please.
Do what, Leggy?
I said, please send in a signed application with a $29.99 application fee, please.
Yeah. Once I get a sense of who the mod team is, we're probably going to have an off-stream meeting here and there to like align ourselves and all get on the same page. And then eventually, if I get enough growth, it's gonna become a position that I would pay for. There's popular and there's notorious. And sometimes they do get different treatments. It's mob. You're dealing with mob psychology after all. I know this number of socks amazes me. I'm sure half of the people that I've banned and blocked are here under socks, but as long as they can behave, it doesn't matter. I mean, eventually they can. They can keep it together for so long. Eventually Their
You
little
know,
troll self
socks. The good thing
comes through.
about you know the good thing about new socks. You know the good thing about them is that they feel fucking fantastic on your feet.
I can tell. It's the ones that were like with one subscriber that was freshly created, but they're making all of these interesting comments in the chat that somehow relate to all of the panel lore that's been going on. That's what that's another thing. It helps if the mods are also on Discord. Otherwise, we'll have to find another way to meet. Right. Well, Leggy, what do you have coming up? You're back at your house, I see.
Well, I'm back on the road again.
Oh, back on the road.
On the
Okay.
road again. Yeah, I'm going to
Just
pick the
little
wife up.
personal time. Oh, okay. The wife. We've heard a
Oh yeah.
lot about her.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, it's a wild card. That's cool. Anyway, no, I don't get much going on. Guess going to a soccer game tonight, I guess. But
Let's see. Yeah, and you hang out in communities where they troll heavily too. Like I try to keep that at a minimum here, so it's less likely to happen. But I've even gone to some of the other channels, and yeah, they go they. My thing with them is they are so. How do I put this? Not dumb. They're just stupid. Like how are these adults? Are these? Because some of them seem like they would have professional jobs. Like they would be bankers or school teachers or like working at a grocery store where you have to know how to do numbers. Um, they seem mentally enfeebled, like not able to process basic reality. The things they come up with, they like create scenarios and throw them at the wall to see if any of them stick. They like cold read. But the things they come up with are so juvenile. Oh, hey, OTW. Does that happen to you too? Maybe we should all have like a creators, like consortium or something where the creators get together and troubleshoot over, strategize over problems. How do you handle trolls? How do you, like once a month we can meet and what issues as a panel host are you having? And we can compare notes and tips and strategies and give support. Oh yeah, I've heard that too because they do. It does seem like I said earlier. Mod, yes, Creators Anonymous, absolutely. I love it. They do seem. It seems like mob psychology or group psychology, um, and they do seem to cluster around certain figures. And I've been told that they're also of like similar political persuasion, so that some of it is like a political tribalism. And I think that really distorts with like they think I'm a racist and all that stuff. Nazi. They think I live in a group home. Speaking of group homes, I'm
What's
just
up?
kidding. What's up?
What's going on? No, I just kind of caught the back end of what you were saying. I was getting ready to be home. No, what you're saying makes a lot of sense, and it's funny because I'm not trolling right now. I'm literally just being my real self, no character or anything. But
Well, how would we ever know
oh well, you could tell by my speech patterns why
with any troll though?
I'm not elevated. I'm not upset. I mean,
Because that's what a
but
troll would say. But yeah, what's on your mind?
I try to analyze, people's behaviors, like you just said. When you said two things, you said dark mirror. Dark mirror is a lot of an analogy that people don't really understand. They're mirroring their own hatred, their own self-loathing on somebody else. They're
Hmm.
mirroring. It's almost like they're putting their hatred for themselves on you. They pick their
On
target,
you?
right?
Well, me
Yeah,
now, but mostly, yes, on both of
but
us.
they pick their target. But
We're
that
a
hatred
totem,
is
an avatar.
it's different. So Jeff, it's different if like me and you like knew them in real life, or we did them wrong, or we we stole their car, or I'm just saying, or beat them up in a fight, I can understand the hatred. I can understand the resentment. But like when you've never met anybody and it's just words, it's made up words over some panel verse, to be that to be that angry, to be that obsessed, that's not normal on their part. And the one thing I've noticed, Jeff, is that me and
So
you,
hang on real quick. This
what?
is an example, Abe, right here. This comment from Just Two that was directed at Mike.
Mhm.
This is to instigate drama. It's not to comment on the conversation. It's directed at Mike himself about something we're not even talking about. So I'm going to time just us out,
Mhm.
and hopefully he won't do it again, and he'll get to stay. And actually, I accidentally got Dr. Head. I'm so sorry. Um, Let me get you back, Head. Sometimes if it scrolls the wrong way, it
So,
bumps you to the next person.
yeah,
Um,
and you know, well, I'll wait till you're done.
all right, Head, I'm going to put you in timeout for 10 seconds, and that should reset it.
Mhm.
I sincerely apologize. You know I didn't mean to hit you. All right, Mike, go ahead.
It was a mistake, Head. It was a mistake. But no, like I said, what I was going to ask you is what's crazy to me is that we will have like a good conversation and a good flow. Like there's a bunch of us, we'll have a good
Hmm.
flow, and it takes one person to come up and derail the whole thing. So are
And
we to
that's on
blame?
me, honestly, when that
So are
happens.
so are we to blame? Or are they to blame? But we
Not
shouldn't
me.
let them. Yeah, we shouldn't let them affect us. But like I said, I was on a different panel. You know who I'm talking about. I was on a different panel, more of a Christian panel, and we were having great conversation. And if someone comes in and completely derails the conversation, and I'm pissed off at that channel owner, they should have not allowed that to happen. But like I said, it's a battlefield, and it's the one thing I've learned about the panelverse is that it's a
State of
battlefield.
nature.
People are going to come up and
It
they're going to
is.
try to
It's
battle you.
it's Hobbesian nature at
That's
its
it.
finest.
That's it.
now now pay us. um,
Exactly.
Not laws. I want to address this here. I am not responsible for how somebody else feels, but of anything they see on YouTube, much less this show. I don't care how they feel. If they feel a certain way, they could continue to watch. They could stop watching. They could turn off, go do something else. That's not my concern at all. I feel no guilt, shame, anything over that. I don't
So
babysit grown people's feelings. That's not my role.
I've told stories that were entertaining, that were just fictional to have fun. But I've also said a lot of real things that happened in my life, a lot of good
I don't.
achievements.
I honestly don't care if you're lying or not
Yeah,
because, like you said, when we have our flow going,
yeah.
if it's adding to the flow, that's all that matters. It's who ca I don't pick apart everybody's stories on here to see if they're accurate. I don't fact check everybody's personal stories as long as it's creating the flow that I'm trying to create here. And I'm not going to make an exception for you. If other people catch you in discrepancies and that bothers them, that's them. That's their feelings. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing here.
But I can tell you this, and this is me talking to you straight up. A lot of things that I've said and have done are real. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. I've been and I've done a lot of things in life. I have. I've done a lot of really cool
Yeah,
things.
I believe you. You were cooking spaghetti
So,
last night and biscuits,
yeah. But I
just
started
like you
working.
said you were.
Yeah. But the thing is this: they're going to pick you apart. They're going to constantly attack you. But like you said, when you said dark mirror, it like struck a chord in me. Like I've never heard someone say that. It's almost like labyrinth, where you see yourself in the evil mirror. Like you're looking back at your own reflection.
It's
So
a hall of mirrors.
these people that are attacking me and you need to look at their own reflection, look at their own vices, their
Well,
own.
good luck with that. That's what therapists are for. And if they need help on a
So
peer level, I have a website. They can do a
there you
consultation,
go.
and I'll sit with them and see if there's anything I can do to help with that. And not laws. So you not laws is wanting censorship, is what he's saying. This is a
Um,
Karen. This is Karen psychology. He wants me to babysit when people come on my panel and say, so that other people can feel better about things
yeah, yeah.
themselves, whatever.
It
I don't
seems
do
like
that here. That's
not
why it's called
laws.
an unsafe space. Someone asked me the other day, and this is an
Mhm.
example of why it's called an unsafe space because I don't do this kind of babysitting.
You
Right.
will.
Who determines the attack? That's what I'm saying about internal locus of control. accountability and personal responsibility. They need to take responsibility for their reaction to something. And until they can do that, there's no way to move forward. That's what keeps them stuck in childhood versus adulthood.
I've never, and Jeff, I've never seen grown people, grown men and women say this. I remember when this person said this, and they're talking about something from over a year ago. All I'm trying to say is, at one point, you need to move on from whatever happened in the past. You need to move on from it.
Well,
And
they're
it's not,
obviously not going to, so I'm at least going to take as much advantage of that as I can.
I
Like,
just think,
I'm a Satanist. I have no problem exploiting somebody's pathology.
well, Jeff, I don't know if you can pick this up on me or not. I give off that I'm being bothered, but none of this stuff bothers me. Dude, I have like skin like a reptile. Like it doesn't bother. Like
Lizard skin.
I'm telling you, it doesn't bother me. But what it does do is it piques my interest into psychology. I love to
Oh,
analyze,
that it does. Definitely
and
that it does.
I know you do too. You're like,
And
man, this person.
I remember reading Lord of the Flies in junior high school too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, like I said, I mean, and I'm not trying to cut short. I'm just saying I think we complement each other. Like you get mad at me a little bit, but you don't really lambaste me. And then I always have your back. Like if I'm somewhere else, like I will always ride or die for you. And that means basically sticking up for someone who's good to me. When other people try to lambaste you and talk bad, I'm like, no, F you guys, because they don't take the time to get to know you. But once again, Jeff, drama sells,
You do
right?
make a good point. These are people that are not interested in reality, like the real world at all. They have no curiosity about
Yeah.
how something actually is. They want a canvas where they can play out their little drama, hero, hate fantasies.
Yeah. And the problem with and one of the problem with me is I know some people. What's up, Chuck? I know some people that kind of give me back information. I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of these trolls, a lot of these people, they're the same group of people that just perpetuate hatred no matter where they go. It has nothing to do with me or you, Jeff. They just have to hate, like the hate person of the week. They have to hate on one person.
Oh, I don't think it's person of the week. I think
Yeah,
this is beyond just a
yeah.
weekly thing. Is that you,
Yeah, it's me.
Kat?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
this guy.
Welcome.
But the hatred is just it's unwarranted. Even when you stop trolling and you just want to chill and have a decent conversation,
Well, that's what I
people,
want to do now, especially now that Cap Gun and Chuck are here.
yeah, yeah.
What's up, Cap?
Not much. How you been?
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
Just hanging out, chilling.
Is Cap Gun
Good,
Jamie?
Yes,
No.
I'm Jamie.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, you're not Jamie?
No, no, two different people
course.
completely.
Now that I think about it, they talk alike, like the
That's why I thought
vocally.
it was. Yeah, I thought that's why I thought it was Jamie.
Yo,
No,
Like
you really are two different people?
Yes.
Of
All right,
course.
because
I
that would
love
really fuck with
Jamie.
my head if you were Jamie this whole
I
time.
No,
I
Jamie's a
apologize.
good. No, don't worry about it. Jamie's a good friend of mine. So no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
all right.
I like Jamie.
I've known Jamie
It's
for
that
years.
accent. Yep.
So are y'all
Accent.
from the same region? Is that why the accent?
No,
Is?
Jamie's down to he's in the Illinois area.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Real
Oh,
Chicago.
poor guy.
Real
Poor
Chicago.
guy.
I'm in
Yeah.
Nevada. I couldn't be any further away.
that's true.
Pretty much, unless
You
I was in California.
you don't build Legos, do you?
No, no, but I'm
Okay.
trying.
Just checking.
I'm
Just
You don't
trying.
build
checking.
Legos, do you?
No, because Jamie's like super into Legos. That's why he likes the Lego stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
I watched some
Yeah.
of his streams.
Stuff's pretty cool. When you guys grew up, did you build Lincoln Logs? Remember the Lincoln
Yeah, I love
Logs?
Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys.
They were, but remember Lincoln Logs were real wood. They were actually like
Well, what are
real.
they now?
I don't even know if you could still buy them. I don't think you can
Oh
still
my
make
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, we had
you
the
can
real. They
get
were the
them.
little logs, and they had the little green slats for the
Yep.
roof. And
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Tinker Toys. That was all real metal. That was something that you buy for your kids that would last forever.
Hey, Miss
Tinker
Boo.
Toys
they
were
were
always
wood.
wood.
They had the
Tinker,
They were like
Tinker
little
Toys.
wooden cogs, and they
You're
had these
thinking
wood
of the
pegs. You'd
erector
stick
set.
holes in them, and you could build
Yes, Jeff. Yeah,
structures.
Chuck, yes, the erector set, the one you can build the crane.
Oh,
Right, like
the erector. Yeah, I never had one of those. Those were a
And you
little
could
over my
splice your
head.
hand in a heartbeat on those damn things.
See, that's.
yeah.
I probably wouldn't even be here today if I
What's
had an
the
erector set.
Hey, Witch. I didn't get to get
Oh
over
yeah.
there to
Hey,
Yes.
see
Witch.
your
Happy. It was her birthday yesterday, and
belated
happy
birthday. Yeah,
unbirthday to
I
everyone
didn't
else.
get
Yeah,
to
we were
watch
here
her.
for
She
it.
did a live, and I meant to go over there, and I got busy, so I'm
Oh, I
sorry.
didn't.
She did a live for a little while, from what I understand.
I
I'm gonna
didn't see
catch
it.
it
Let me.
later, but I wanted to get up there, but I got busy with something else, so I apologize.
Hmm. Yeah. But it's like the toys. Do you got now? I don't know. I'm not sure if any of you guys are from like the New York, New Jersey area. Do you remember Hess trucks, the metal trucks with the working lights? It's probably not in your area, but you can get like
I
the
remember the
Hess
mosquito
trucks.
trucks.
Yeah, but they had like little working lights. You could put 9 volts under there, or the D batteries, and they were all metal. So I mean, in other words, what I'm trying to say is like, remember Tonka trucks? They were all metal, the metal ones, the big Tonka trucks.
Yeah, like the dump trucks and the
Yeah, yeah.
yeah little. Yeah, we had some of those.
But what I'm trying to say is that back when we were kids, back when if you grew up in the '60s, '70s, stuff like that, the toys, they were metal or they were real wood. They lasted forever. It wasn't like a throwaway toy. So I'm trying to say, like, where the kids now, they
I wonder if they were lead.
yeah, I don't know,
Sure, they were.
lead paint. Remember the lead
Yeah,
paint, the big lead paint problem, the in the walls. Remember the Chinese drywall
I remember
back
the
in
lead paint is the and the asbestos.
yeah, yeah, wild stuff, man. Yep, don't eat the paint chips. All right.
Binks.
Hmm.
It's in the chat.
Chuck, how's it going with you? Or maybe not. Probably stepped away.
Sorry, I've just been informed that Chuck is now passed away. There will be
He's in
a
that tiny verse, that panel verse in the sky,
there will be a
flying high.
viewing of him for him tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Stop,
Sorry.
y'all. That's that's gonna have. Has that happened
Chuck
before? Like,
was
how
known as a good
has
man.
it, has the community dealt with grief in the Panelverse yet?
There's been, I think there was, when I first got on, there was like 1 or 2 people that did pass away, older people, but it was like not like big channels. It was like people do pass, they do pass away.
I know. I hate it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Mike, you knew RBR, didn't you?
RBR. I knew Less Truth. Less Truth was Spanish
The, bl-
guy, and he.
I'm talking about the black guy out of Los Angeles.
I
Real
don't think
Black Radio.
I don't think so. If I did,
Okay.
it would maybe been once, but no. I knew Les, and Les passed away like from some kind of medical stuff. But I mean,
Mm.
he was there one night, and then all of a sudden he was gone.
And
So
then there's
yeah,
the people you don't know, like that
yeah,
just don't ever show back up. You don't know
yeah,
what happened.
yeah.
You
What
never see him
happened?
again.
Yeah.
People do pass, and Les was a really good guy. But I mean, he
Hey,
They
just
ride off into the
yeah,
moonlight.
that's it. But it happens, This life, people don't realize that when we log off, we have a whole separate life. Well, some people do, some people don't.
oh yeah,
But
That's for sure.
about to revise that.
yeah, yeah, but it's like, you got a lot of stuff going on, family, friends, and all this other stuff. But it's sad to see someone cool go, because I've made some friends on here, and people I enjoy talking to, people I can't wait to get away from. But I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah. Jeff, are you doing one of your monster streams? You're gonna break it up a couple times throughout the day.
I'll probably do. I find these little like short streams work better. Stream, take a break. Stream, take a break.
Yeah,
But I don't mind keeping streams going if there's good conversations happening.
gotcha. Yeah, right on. As long as you're intrigued,
This is a space like I'm trying to target it where it's most needed. So as long as it looks like it's needed and being useful to people, I tend to
definitely,
keep them going.
definitely. Well, I gotta jump down, but I can probably, if you're still on in a little bit, I could probably come back up. I have to run out real quick, take care of something. But if you're still back up, I'll pop back in.
Okay. And if
All
not,
right.
I'm
Take
sure
care,
I'll
guys.
be around later.
Yeah. If you're up, I'll definitely come spend some time with you. Take care, guys. I'll see you later.
Okay. Take care, Mike.
All right.
All right. Well, it's up to us.
What happened to Leggy?
His connection.
Oh,
Probably due to the storm.
didn't they?
And he might have worn himself out.
Didn't they get? I don't know about that whole area. It's just,
No, he's
I
up in
don't watch the
Maine.
news, so.
He's they had nice weather yesterday.
Oh, good. I think that would be a pretty cool job to work on a boat like that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I mean, it's hard work.
After
It's hard
watching
work.
them shows about that, no, thank you.
Mm, After
That's a
watching
hard
what?
way. Them
I worry about the
shows
cold. I just couldn't take
about the
too
Oh.
much
fishing,
cold.
the commercial fishing stuff. Oh, that looks
Yeah,
rough.
but it seems just, yeah, it definitely looks. But you know, it's like augmented reality. You don't really know they create drama and all that other shit. You don't know what's really real. And I don't watch that shit because it's just not. I have no doubt that the work is extremely hard, and I know that accidents happen, and there's a lot of boats that go down and all that stuff. I know that for a fact, but just I can't. I don't trust anything on television. Never. I never really have. 'Cause it's just too much. Too many lies. Too much bullshit.
Yeah, I don't trust anything on YouTube either. Or
Well, you
TikTok.
can't. Well, no, that's a place you can go, Jeff, where everything's absolutely true, 100%.
Too much.
What
Too
a
many lies. Too much
privilege.
bullshit. Yeah, I don't trust anything on YouTube.
Dr. Head.
Well, you can't. Well, no, that's a place you can go, Jeff, where everything's absolutely true.
Oh, there's an
100%.
echo,
Too
Head.
much. Too many lies. Too much bullshit. Yeah, I don't trust
Your
anything.
browser's open.
Dr. Head. Well, no, that's a place you can go, Jeff, where everything's absolutely. Oh, there's an echo. Too much. Too many lies.
Ooh, this-
Infinity
here.
loop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
mute you for a second until that's a big lag. Big
Yeah, I'm
delay.
gonna say I was muted, so I knew it wasn't me.
But definitely good to see you.
Now we can't hear him.
All right. I think you just have to close your browser tab.
He doesn't realize that he's muted.
Oh.
Trying to
Oh,
watch it
you're-
on two TVs.
Ah, okay. There you are. Now
Sorry,
we got
dude.
you.
Can't
What's
hear
up?
shit. I can never get this technology shit to work for me. Fucking Luddite.
I know. I hate technology.
Technology isn't always progress. Trust me.
So what's happening with you? What's catch us up? What's going on?
No sound, dude.
Can you hear us?
I'm not sure what's going on.
He might be having connection too. He just said he can't get it to work.
He don't look old enough to be a boomer.
Oh, I think he's probably in our generation. Well, you're a boomer, right?
Technically, I'm not sure. 1960? What is that considered? I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're like a late boomer, just
Supposed to
before
be from
Gen
45 to 65, supposedly.
Oh, so I'm a boomer.
X. Yeah. If you go by the birth curve, it's like 65 to April of 81. If you go culturally, it's like after the death of Kennedy to about the election of Reagan or the shooting of Reagan.
Yeah, I
Is what,
see us
Gen
all
X?
mixed up.
Yeah,
Head, are you there? Can you hear us?
he's froze now. It's like, no, he's moving.
Can,
This is
can
like
you hear us?
NASA. Houston, we
Looks
have
like
a
he's-
problem. He's
Hang on, let
muted.
me unmute you.
Can you? You can unmute him. He's got to mute himself.
You're on mute. You have to unmute. You're on mute. Mute. How do you mute?
Jeff, he's on a different planet right now, so I think that
That's
you're
what I
gonna
was
have a little bit of
starting to think
little bit
too.
of trouble.
Well, what's that book?
Your
Dinner from
transmission
Mars?
that you
Can
just
you
said
hear
right
us?
now,
Fuck,
you'll get it in
dude. God
10
damn it.
Okay. All right, we can hear you now. Can you hear us?
How is life on Mars?
I don't know if you can hear us.
Jeff, that was a hologram. He'll be here in 2
Fucker.
minutes.
Can you?
What?
He's
Who
having
was he talking to?
his connection, his
Oh,
device.
I'll say, what did we do?
His connection's name is Fucker, so we
I
know that.
got you. That was my daughter, one of my daughter's boyfriends. You know how you
Fucker.
name your. Yep. He changed the name on his system, and he would say, "Hey, fucker, I need to find this or turn this on or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh my god."
All right, let's try him again.
Sorry about that. I'm a bit of a Luddite. I fucking every time I do this, I try to watch it on 2 different devices, and you can't do that because it fucking routes because you get the loop shit going on.
Can you hear us? Can you hear
Yeah, I
us?
can hear you now.
Okay, good.
You can watch it on
welcome.
2, but you have to mute one. That's the way you do it.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Working
What's
towards that.
happening? What's up over there?
I'm over in Mendocino, California. Working
Oh,
on.
cool.
California.
No,
Yeah.
Mendocino's nice. I like Mendocino.
Oh, now your signals
Redwood
go. You
Park.
might be.
Too far
Mhm.
away.
Oh, look at that sunshine! Wow.
Yeah.
No, Mendocino's beautiful, Jeff.
That's
It's
gorgeous head.
fucking. It's so nice there.
Very radiant and
My mom's
spiritualized.
place.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Over kind of close to Bohemian Grove, you know.
Oh,
Ooh.
really? have you been by it? Did you sneak around it?
I grew up here. I spent 7 years here as a kid. Never even heard a word about the place, which is kind of weird. You'd think the kids would at least fucking be
I
on to it.
know. Yeah, it makes me wonder what else we were
Well,
missing.
yeah, since they sacrificed all them kids at that event. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. That's why the kids didn't know about it.
Creepy shit. Yeah, I'm just trying to rebuild mom's porch here. She's always got some projects for me when I come to visit, you know.
Oh,
It's a
cool. I
100-year-old.
love seeing. That's inspiring. Like watching
That's gonna
guys
happen.
do
I need
shit.
a kid like that.
That's gonna happen.
There's a-
You know, whenever you come over, you got the projects, and yeah, living out there, man, that's what you're gonna have. That's cool that you're doing that, though.
Oh,
Her
it's
front
freezing up.
porch.
Uh-huh.
It's like an old, it's an old house. It's
Can't see it.
rotted. It's all redwood though. to,
Oh,
hold
so you
together
have to
pretty
like
good.
re-floor the porch?
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
I
Serious.
didn't
That's
think
great.
Yeah.
No, that's cedar that don't rot. That's right.
Well, it's has pretty good longevity. But
I thought it
Yeah,
did
that's
too.
true.
you know,
It's
it's
taken
not built
care of.
in any way conventional. It's a bit of a puzzle every time you do anything here. It's kind of a challenge. It's fun, but
It's cool to have a
get a
house
chance to
made
kind
out
of
of
do things.
basically all the indigenous, like, trees and stuff, to that area. I
Yeah.
think that's
Area, yeah.
Yeah, that's
He's
the
in
guys. That's what they did. You're
Mendocino County, you said?
Mendocino.
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 What part of the
Hey,
state
Nova,
is
happy
that in?
Thursday to you too.
Mendocino is its own town,
We're body doubling today.
its own area.
Is that
Now,
up by
what-
Humboldt?
Yeah, it's got a bit of a. That's right. It's Mendocino County is adjacent to Humboldt County.
Ah, okay. So
Yes.
I saw the movie.
Now, what panel verses you come from, Cap Gun?
I am from the drama community.
Okay.
The drama community. Yeah, there's some called Vegas Valley shit show, and there's some connection to Paul and Slave because some of the
Oh,
groups share members. There's like a
Yeah,
little
they
bit of
kind
crossover.
of get into, there is crossover in there. There's like 2 or 3. Well, I mean, there's just 2 drama communities that I know about, but there are probably many more. I just don't search them
And
out.
then they
or
have
get
like little
involved.
sub communities that split off.
I think
every
so,
time there's
probably.
fights.
I just see that there's a good side and a bad side, and it's always going back and forth. So
usually how it is.
Even
On
even
any
within the
pa-
same people, I've seen
Yep.
people come here and do really good positive things and go in the drama community and devolve into savage trolls.
Yep.
yes, or the real life.
Got to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yes, but at whose expense? Where do you draw the line? Between,
Yeah. Mentally.
Well,
and
that's the
when do
real
you
thing
step
there,
in?
isn't it?
With some
Yeah,
people, there is no line.
I think.
Yeah,
somebody's
I don't think
lagging.
word can hurt. Really?
No, but the real
You know,
lifers, and they are in the drama community. The real lifers, those are the ones that have a serious mental issue. So
Yeah, there seems to be
you mean
a
the
few
ones
of
that
those.
that's all they do is fucking go on chats or
well,
panels?
no, not
Real
no,
lifers?
no. Real lifers are people who call the cops on people to do
They take it
wellness
off stream.
checks, and they also call CPS on people that have kids for no reason
Oh
and get their
Lord.
they just completely screw up and screw
Yeah.
with other families entirely. It's sick.
yeah.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Agreed.
They're like the cancel
Yeah.
culture mob.
Yeah, they weaponize the cops and they also weaponize CPS to people. And I've heard horrific stories of people don't do anything. It's just somebody made them mad, so they'll call CPS on them, and then their like 5-year-old child will be submitted to a rape test kit and all sorts of horrific shit.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep,
Yeah,
good.
it's
some
real.
Mr. B made a good point too, the crossover between the flat earthers and the South Sit communities is crazy.
Yeah, and there's some QAnon and conspirator and truther mixed in. I
Oh,
never thought in my entire life I would ever be interacting with this segment of society, and now that I discovered them, like
Well, I
I
can cut
can't seem to
myself
go
off. I
anywhere
can turn
else.
myself off of that. That's why I come here to because there's a connection between you and I, Jeff. We have the same musical taste. We have the same taste in movies,
Yeah,
and a lot of
there's
that
that.
stuff is very, all those kinds of things are what bring people together. And then if you can talk about those two things and you have those same interests and the same basic genres, like I said, it's still to this day, it freaked me out. Like your genuine reaction to Slackers, and I was like, motherfucker, he gets it. He gets it. Not only does he get it, he lived there,
I
so
was
he
the
knows
Slack.
all
That was
about
our
that.
generation. I was
I
part of
know,
the
but
Slack.
what
you know
what
how many
was
people would watch that movie, Jeff, and just go, "What the fuck is this?"
what was that movie
I don't know if
about?
they're from the Panoverse. They might appreciate it.
I don't know.
What
I
was it
might
about?
screen it in the Discord today. And test it.
It's not a
Give me
bad
a quick
idea to see if
give me a
people
quick
really get it.
synopsis of what the movie
It
was.
was it's Richard Linklater's first movie. He made it in '89. It premiered in '90 in Austin, and it was filmed in Austin, Texas. And it's him with a camera, and they go around Austin, and it's called a vertical narrative. So they'll like follow some guy around Austin, and then he'll run into somebody, and they'll start a conversation, and then the camera will follow that second person until that person runs into somebody, and they'll have a conversation, and then they keep following different people around Austin, and the people that you run into are the conspirators, the UFO theorists, the New Age woo people. It's everybody that you would meet in the Panelverse, except it's live in the city of Austin, just out and about their daily life. And that is exactly how Austin was when I lived there. That's what you did all day.
Wow.
You woke up and
It's really a
you
great
walked
movie.
around the university district talking to all of these interesting, wacky people.
Wow.
Yeah, and some are normal, and some of them that you wouldn't think are, intellectually intelligent are, and the things they say, and of course it was scripted, but it was just played right, and it was, I mean, they're actors that you've never seen before and have never
Yeah.
seen since. They just like used, it seemed like, people from, I don't know where the cast was.
They were probably mostly drawn from that area.
I
He
think
tends to
so.
use a lot of Austin.
From the
And Dazed
local
and
play group.
Confused was, I think, Matthew McConaughey. McConaughey got his start. Renee Zellweger is Austin.
Oh,
But he did
speaking of
a movie a years later after that called Waking Life, and it's kind of an animated version of that, except they just have one guy that walks around and talks to all these different people. And it's more philosophical. But that movie, Alex Jones got his start. Alex Jones has a cameo in that one,
Yeah, I'm
and I
here.
had no idea it was Alex Jones. I've seen that movie like 200 times, and I never knew until recently that it was Alex Jones.
Yeah,
uh,
I was in that project. I was in on it from the beginning, of course.
speaking of Matthew McConaughey, have you seen him lately?
No.
Oh, he looks horrible.
What?
Yeah, you can shit.
What
Skin
happened
and
to him?
bone. He's skin and bone. My daughter was showing me a picture the other day.
Let me
I was
try
like,
to
oh
find
my
it.
God. He was it was a picture from a red carpet event, and he
Um,
looked
I'm trying
absolutely
to find
horrible.
recent pictures. So far, he looks the same. Yeah, if you can find it.
Okay, well, she's at the doctor right now. She gets home, I'll have her give it to me. But I was
Was he
like,
in Scanner? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah, I do
was.
remember that scene. Yeah,
Yes, I
Scanner
was.
Darkly was the other. That's the other animated. It's that rotoscoping technique that Linklater did after Waking Life, based on that Philip K.
That
Dick
movie
story.
was based on my
But
life.
Waking Life is in the same style as Scanner Darkly, but it's like Slacker if they did it in a Scanner Darkly style. That is Waking Life.
He and I are good friends. He got all of that from me. It's plagiarism. I'm suing him.
Uh, Sean, we're gonna screen it in the Discord today. In fact, after this, I'll probably go set it up. And there's a version called Slacker 2011 where they gave different directors, like they each took a scene from Slacker and remade it,
Yeah,
and
you told me
so
about that. I
there's
asked you how
clips of
that
that
worked
available
out,
too.
and you said that it was pretty good. It was pretty well done.
is
It
that when the frogs turn gay?
Some of it was. Some of it was.
it's scene. You have to take it kind of scene by scene because each
Right.
director has a different spin. Sometimes they recreate the scene literally with just
Hmm.
different actors, and sometimes they use the scene as a prompt and kind of do their own version of it.
You know who
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola is, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear about the latest movie he just put out, Metropolis or something
Yeah,
like
they
that?
were talking about that, and we thought about screening that with too. But now that I'm seeing the reviews, they're not coming in very.
Well, he spent like $140 million of his own money to make that, and the first release of it, he only got took in 4 million.
Hang on, I want to see this. Head, what is where? That's her porch.
Yeah,
The
I
yeah,
think
it's
shutter
so.
and the.
old farm, old logging house. Old loggers used to stay in this house. Back in the canyon behind me, there's old redwood trees. They're about 4 foot in diameter, and they've got holes from what they used to call what they used to use what they call springboards, so they could get up high
Oh
enough
yeah.
above the trunk and actually cut that son of a bitch, you know. And they're out. I
Ah,
hiked back down to that canyon. You could still see the springboard parts of the springboard hardware stuck in the
That's cool.
tree down there. It's pretty
Oh
neat.
wow.
I've
It's
seen
like
those.
a
They used to
fairy
have those
tale world.
those wood chopping competitions that they used to, I don't know. I'm sure they still
That's
have them,
right.
and they have the.
Yeah.
That's one of the events that they still do with the springboard, and they
Yeah.
chop and chop, and then they put the springboard in there. They
Yeah.
climb up and chop, and then
yep,
put the next
yep.
springboard in.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of
Kind of
Pretty
like a
fun.
amazing. It's pretty cool to
mountain
watch.
climber putting his rigging in. Same
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
kind.
the Pythons.
and they'd have races. It was all about timing. It was all about time.
Yep.
Your time to get all the way up to cut the piece that you needed to cut at the top, and then get down.
Yeah, it's
Hustle.
crazy.
Time is money.
Yeah. And in that, yeah, it's an event. It's great, Jeff. You probably like it to just
They
watch
had
one of
in
those.
Oh
Seattle.
yeah,
They have
definitely.
this thing where you can go to the park and they have these big trees and they have the rigging, the rappelling gear, and you can rope up these giant trees like as if you're like rock climbing or mountain climbing, but it's tree climbing, and you could do
Yeah.
that for like an hour and rent out this service. We did
Would
that
you?
one year.
Would you? I was gonna say, would you do that? And you did.
Yeah, I
You
did it.
said you did. That's cool.
I used to climb trees as a kid. I was a monkey. That was my favorite thing to do. Like there's every tree around. I figured out how
Right.
to get as high as I could, and
That's
that
what
was my
kids
hobby.
used to do.
You
Yeah,
wonder
that's
how
a
you
normal. That's a
survived all
normal
that,
kid.
Jeff?
I know I do. I never felt. And then I would also climb on the roof. Like if a tree was near a roof, I would swing onto the roof, and then I
That's
would.
normal. That is so cool. That's
Yeah.
Yep,
just normal,
yep.
Yeah,
normal
that
kid
was
stuff.
that growing up in the
Boy,
country.
these
That's what
days they'd have a
used
big
World
shit
was your
fit
jungle
about
gym.
any of that kind of conduct. Watching the kids do that.
That's Gen X was the last outdoor generation. We didn't know it at the time, but we took it for granted. But we were the last generation that got to grow up
Yep,
outdoors,
outside. Yep.
They should
like
Yeah, and
jump
they
off
building
wonder
our
what's
all
wrong
day
with
psyche
long.
from outdoor experience.
and they wonder what's wrong with the kids these days.
They're in a safety bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are
Yeah,
the ones
these
probably doing that thing where they calling the uh, police on you. You know that come
swatting.
raid your house and all that shit.
Oh, the. I do notice a generational thing. I commented the other day. It seems like there's a current mindset of protect, like who can I turn to protect me or be accountable to, like, and we didn't have that. If you have a problem with someone, just work it out. Like there's nobody you can run to for accountability or to make the person respect you or address why he's doing that. That's so foreign to my
Exactly.
generation.
Exactly.
They don't have the idea that they can do anything independently or individually. They're in a collectivist mind state where
Yeah.
the state has a monopoly on force, and and they don't understand there's a difference between force and violence. Like, but protect them all, against a threat. And I hurt you, and you're the threat. I don't consider that violence. I consider that the proper use of force, and that's really not, really frowned on. That whole perspective these days, but it was what we were more akin to in the past.
Yeah, there's this whole like expectation of what are you going to do about this happened, what are you going to do about it? And I'm like, what are you going to, it happened to you, what are you going to do about it? Why am I the source of a solution for something that happened to you? It's that mentality that's new to me, and it seems to have been originating this generation, this next generation, the millennials or the zennials, whoever.
Yeah, coming down from the top. Machine Lies did a pretty good presentation on some of the history behind this stuff last night.
Oh,
I think that was pretty
let
good.
me
I think he does thorough work in regards to
he
historical
yeah.
precedences.
Surrender the dome cone.
Yeah, but he's
The
more in the
dome.
Oh wait, that was
philosophical.
Well, we stand on the shoulders of giants, and we stand on the shoulders of giants who stand on the shoulders of giants. So you got to understand your own first principles, or understand where you got the way, where you learned how to think.
I don't
Then it's
think people
necessary.
do that.
No, generally not. I wouldn't
I
expect
think
people would.
Dr. Head, you hit it on it better than anybody so far. First principles. I think that's a much better way of saying it than critical thinking or reason or rational. Like we're missing those first principles. Why do we think and do the way we do as Westerners, as we are in the modern world? There's reasons for all of that, and it goes back to first principles at the origins of our culture, and that is what we're missing.
The
The
curiosity to
context.
see
The
why and how.
context.
You got to be curious, and you got to be
There he is.
to stand on unsolid ground.
Somebody's
Perfect
cutting up.
solution.
I wonder how curious, because I was exposed to that when I was young, and I had a natural curiosity for it, but it was also awakened in me by really good teachers. So, but how much is the average person, how much are you going to be able to like instill that in the average person that doesn't have a natural curiosity?
Well, part of down thoughts that got me interested
Somebody's roboting.
over the years. But I was
It might be
every day since I was a little kid. Literature talks about growing and understanding and be a better service to your fellow man. I think that
Is it
growing and
is it me
effect.
or is he
I
cutting
wonder
out?
if some of that is innate and it's not the majority.
No, nothing's, well, yeah, I'm sure part of it's personality. Yeah.
Like that kind of curiosity where I was curious about anything and everything around me as a kid, but I think some people's curiosity is going to be more targeted to what immediately interests them. And they're going to be only as curious as
Well,
they need to be to relieve whatever like
per
distress they're in
quote,
at the moment.
quick pro quo, or quid pro quo. That's all being handed down from the top. Time is money.
Well, not here.
Go along to get along. You don't want to challenge the popular narratives too much.
Well,
And
which
a lot of
ones?
the
There's so
popular
many
narratives
of
are
them now.
misguided. Well, the popular narratives seem oftentimes misguided to me. you start looking at what's behind them, and it starts to come clear to what, it's, people seem these days to be pretty legalistic. They talk about the law and how, bad people out there, if they would just follow the rules and the laws, we'd all be okay. But then they go out on the fucking road and push every speed limit and every
Right. That's not following
why
the
we're stuck in
rules.
traffic. Right, but they're all too quick to disparage the elderly, invalid, and children living under their shitty, failing infrastructure while they talk shit about how good the law and the system is. And that all seems pretty absurd to me personally. But I don't know. It could be just misinterpreting. I don't think so. I have a bit of a confused pattern of thinking, so sometimes I come across a little bit.
I was thinking the opposite.
Yeah, I don't think that you're confused.
It doesn't sound confused.
Right on, but appreciate that.
Well, not the panel versus relative. A
challenging.
lot of people get normalized here.
Yeah, right on. Right. I see that happen. I see the value of what you say there. Yeah. Yeah, that is one where I see some redeemable quality of technology today. Is that, like you said earlier, if it wasn't for technology, we wouldn't have come together. I wouldn't be having the opportunity
for
to
better or
get
worse.
Yeah, and that's the world as it is, right there, for better or worse. I mean,
Even something like AOL expanded my social world like 100-fold. Like every person after that for years that I've met through a computer that was in my life. That would not have happened without that I would not have been able to meet those people without the technology. And they were the people I needed to meet at the time. I met the right people at the right time using technology, and that would not have been possible without it.
Yeah, I agree. I seem to have met most of the people in my life, being in that place at that time, and we made a connection there. But as life goes on, the distance then grows, and I met my wife when I was in college, but we weren't together. So we were just college buddies for a year. And then we continued our life. She stayed in school and got a master's degree. I traveled the world on the military side. And then, but because of emails that turned into MySpace, that turned into Facebook, that turned into, hey, your post says you're kind of in this space in your life. And I'm sitting here feeling the same way. Like you keep getting older, stuff like that. And that led to phone calls, and that led to short drives, and now we live in the same house, and we're married. But it's the same with all my friends too. Like, I either met them in school or met them along the way, and the distance between us is hundreds miles, states, and all you got to do is
ain't got no sound now.
Oh, can you hear us? We can hear you.
What?
Yeah. Oh, it's crapping out again.
It just closes that distance.
Can you hear us, Head? Yeah, it really does. Like even during COVID, I probably interacted with my family more during COVID through video than I did for years before that. We had Easter dinner together remotely. We attended a funeral together remotely.
Damn it.
Like I wasn't doing any. I had never had that kind of contact with my family before COVID. Can you hear us, Head? I think it's doing his thing.
Yeah, I think he's
where he is. Those are bad connections where he's at, so I get that.
Yeah.
He's out there in the woods.
It's kind of miraculous of technology that he even has the connection that he has out there.
Yeah, eventually it'll get better and better. I'm really, honestly, I'm pretty amped up to see what because it does look like it's going to finally become a reality with the Tesla phone, and that's going to open up some
what's the Tesla phone?
Well, it's going to be they're going to compete with iPhone and the Windows-based phones.
Is it going to be based on Starlink?
That I don't know. That's a good question. But
Neuralink.
I
No, the
think
Starlink
the
system.
one thing that I'm really interested in is that it's going to not only have cell service, of course, and 5G and whatever the hell else it goes to next, but it's also going to have a satellite chip in it too, so you can also use it as a satellite phone.
Oh, that would be
And that's
Starlink. Yep.
going to be, yeah, exactly. And see, that I think would benefit so many things because
Well, that's
you
what
literally
the
get a clear
Ukraine
connection anywhere. So
the Ukraine's using Starlink because he sent all them little satellites up to help them out.
yeah, it's scary in one way, but in another way, it's like whenever I drive to Vegas, there are so many spots where literally miles where you're driving for 2 or 3 hours and there's literally nothing.
Dead
And you
zone.
don't get
Yep.
any connections at all anywhere. And if you're stuck out there, you have to rely on somebody finding you driving by.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you're out there on those 2-lane roads on the freeways, the 2-lane freeways, it's just you don't know when the hell the next car's coming. So, and you don't know if that person's just going to blow by you or what. So, if you have that Tesla phone and it does what they say it's going to do, you won't all that's gone. You just be able to make a call and get service.
Yeah.
Well, so far everything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah, and he's got the money to make stuff happen. That's the reason why. It's not just, they're not just his ideas they're implementing. These are other people behind the scenes that really have all these
Right.
ideas. He just surrounds himself with he's not that he's just not that he is only like this a really smart one. He also has the skills to find other people who are
Yep.
like-minded and who can actually do more than what he can, and they can
Yeah, because look
implement it.
look how fast he put SpaceX together.
Have you ever seen a
Yeah.
guy named Thunderfoot? He does a pretty good investigation of Elon Musk. He's a valedictorian and a nuclear physicist. He's got a YouTube channel called Thunderfoot. He goes over a lot of Elon Musk's business practices. Some of them seem pretty questionable, really.
See, but that's the thing is everybody always wants to take somebody
Always.
who, well, you know what I mean? It's like, and then try
Tear
to
them
find
down.
something
Yep.
sinister about
Yep.
the person instead of just leaving shit alone and letting, other people decide for them. And then they have to come
You
out with
think
somebody.
stealing is okay? Is stealing
It
good?
happens every day. The government steals
So it's
every fucking
okay
day.
then?
No,
Well, I
but what can you
mean,
do? What are you going to do about it?
look at
That's the
the
thing.
Steve.
Fucking
Can't,
stop
Look
it.
you
look
can't.
at the look
Yeah,
at
you
the Steve.
can.
They'll
Look at the
stop
Steve.
you.
Boy,
Look,
good
Look at
fucking come
the
and try it, motherfuckers. They'll
look
have to
at
kill
the
me too, and they'll have to kill me. They'll have to kill me to do it.
I feel
I
what
your
don't
did you
mind
say,
that.
sentiment.
untrackable?
So long as they don't
yeah.
torture me, man.
Sorry, I'm trackable. Go ahead, man. I didn't mean to.
So, yeah,
No,
sorry.
you're good. Yeah, but I was just gonna say, um, yeah, look at the Steve Jobs story. They're saying that like what was it? Bill Gates stole from him, but or was it that way or was it the other way around?
They
I,
claim both. They claim both.
okay, but then look where they went with it. Like Microsoft may have initially made the more popular operating system, but then Apple came out with the most popular products that
The
see,
graphical interface.
and not just not just in there, but the aesthetic, but also the synergy of it all to where your phone is Apple, your computer is Apple, your pad is Apple, your TV is Apple. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can if you can afford it, of course, you can maintain an aesthetic as well as fully connectable interfaces. Whereas, like for the longest time, Microsoft was on computers. Like they didn't have like was it the Microsoft phones or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they
And
came out with Windows Phone, but it
right,
didn't do well.
right. But so what those were doing, what the most of Microsoft applications wind up going on another party's phones rather than going on Microsoft phones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
all
like
about control.
I got the whatever. I got a Verizon. What is it? I got the Moto.
That's the
Um,
Android,
yeah, it's an Android Moto
which is
phone.
basically a Google phone.
Yeah, it's the cheapest version of something that's new. And it works fine for what I need it to work
Yeah,
for.
same here. I don't need a lot
Hmm.
from a phone.
And I don't really care about the aesthetics either. I just need something that's
The
durable
aesthetics.
and reliable. But yeah, the aesthetics. I don't have to have a big old butt sticking out and to prove a point.
You pull out your phone, and people think, "Oh wow, that guy's got money and prestige. Wow, look at that." No, I know exactly what you mean.
Or they pull out a MacBook and all of a sudden you assume they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Good
It's like,
point.
okay. I don't use technology at all for work, so I
Have
tend
you guys witnessed any shortcomings yet in the area, your local area, as far as commodities like toilet paper and things of that nature?
I
Mm.
haven't looked recently, honestly.
Shortages? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
I've definitely
Uh,
seen the posts and the news articles, and I definitely heard what is it that the longshoreman labor boss talking, and he was like, you know, you guys may just think that we're a bunch of crybabies or whatever. He says, but you leave us sitting out there too long without a contract, and you're going to shut this whole country down.
Well, the president can step in at any time and declare a national
Right, Biden.
emergency and force them back to work.
That's what Reagan did.
Not for
Right,
the
but this is exactly what the guy said when it comes to that. He said you can force them to go back to work, but if you're forcing people to go back to work without resolving these issues, your production rate's going to sink through the friggin' floor because non-motivated people that are being forced to do something without
I,
reaching a
I,
resolution,
what
they're
was
not
right.
going to.
Yeah, good luck with that.
what was in the contract? Because they offered them a 77% pay raise and they turned it down. So
Hey, and all that I don't.
there's something in the contract they don't like.
Uh,
Offer me
Keeps kicking
77%
me
pay
off. I wonder
raise.
why.
It's your connection keeps
Fucker.
kicking
yes.
you.
You're out in the woods.
Bullshit.
That's
Yeah, it
why.
keeps
It's all
dropping.
right.
You
You need to feed the
gods don't
squirrels.
want to let me play.
Yeah. And it keeps freezing up. Or it
There's a
might be,
conspiracy theory.
who knows? It might be
It's
human
Jeff.
But
agency.
Let's blame Jeff.
damn it. Well, fuck. I just get audio video. I mean, kind of
Yeah,
The
but
sucks.
audio.
I see some
Done
signs
this
of
to
a
me twice now.
recession coming into play.
I'm only got one machine on this fucking too.
I mean, I've
If you
seen my
turn
gas
turn the
system,
camera
but
off, it'll probably make your audio
Yeah,
much clearer. Just
camera
because
uses a lot of bandwidth.
it's overworking. Yeah, once you use that camera, so it could be like overworking. The connection as well. So
Oh, yeah, that might work too if you turn off your video.
Who was it that was roboting?
He's
Dr.
trying
Head?
another.
oh, what the
Now
hell?
we got two
That's
now.
a
I
high
now
keep
that
getting
five.
connection
kicked.
is really gonna go bad.
Jeff's
I've
cloning
only got
people.
one machine on this fucking connection.
There we
Right
go.
next to the goddamn modem.
Can you hear us? It's still
Yeah, I can hear you now.
okay.
I can hear you now.
Turn your
Fucking
off might
YouTube
help.
squelch. What?
You're still lagging a little bit, but as long as you can hear us, I
Oh,
guess.
really? Well, if I get kicked again, I'll probably just stay out. It's a
Yeah.
bad connection. Thanks for having me up, though, Jeff.
Thanks for coming up. I hope you come back.
Yeah, it was nice
Yeah,
meeting
right
you.
on, buddy. Likewise.
I might wind it down soon anyway and go get that movie started.
The movie.
What movie you watching?
Thinking about Slacker just because it's so Panelverse
Okay,
related.
I've
But it
never
was
heard.
like Panelverse before Panelverse.
Yeah, it was like Panelverse
The
before
internet wasn't
Panelverse.
around yet, so
Slacker was a particular type of. ethos, aesthetic, lifestyle back in the late 80s, early 90s that kind of got associated with my generation of X. And Slacker was kind of the movie that defined it.
Okay. Is it a newer movie?
Oh no, it
No.
was 89, 90.
Okay. I might have to check that out. See if I can find it.
I'll probably watch in the Discord. But there is a, hang on, let me. Yeah, there's a quote by Richard Linklater. Let me find it. I think that the cheapest definition of a slacker would be someone who's just lazy, hanging out, doing nothing. I'd like to change that to somebody who's not doing what's expected of them. Somebody who's trying to live an interesting life, doing what they want to do, and if that takes time to find, so be it. That's kind of the slacker ethos.
Yeah, and I mean, they're very young. Everybody in there, it's just like what people experience from age, 19, 18, in the after high school generation. Like once you
Yeah.
leave, I shouldn't say
It came out around
generation.
the same
Not
time
what I
as
meant.
Pump Up the Volume, too, which is another good high school
Oh,
movie that's
yeah.
very Panelverse related because it's about a high school kid who runs a podcast out of his
Well,
bedroom.
with a pirate radio station. And I've
Christian
actually had
Slater.
one of those before. It
You know,
wasn't
I can
started by
mention.
me, but
I'm a
took it over.
I'm a slacker, and I wouldn't be here working on my mom's the slacker. I've got a bunch of back in Portland I'm supposed to be doing right fucking now. And my other friends, people from my demographic ilk, they wouldn't be helping their fucking mom. They'd be over there getting their dollar bill. I'm over here working on my mom's porch because I make time. I don't do real well out there in the fucking fiscal world, but
I don't either.
so what? I'm doing all right.
I'm trying to
You
work
know?
these YouTube scoops.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. If
Yeah,
I was a
I'm
little
with
bit
you.
more
There's a
worried
lot
about
of
the
us that
bottom
don't, and I
line, I
think
could probably
we
do.
have stuff to
You know,
offer. We just got to figure out a way. The system, man, the system is fucked. Needs to be
it's a
dismantled.
monster. It's a self-perpetuating
It's
monster. I don't know
irredeemable.
about dismantled, but definitely somehow reeled in, and that people getting together and putting their heads together is probably building some solidarity is probably a good start at that.
I think so too. It's a that's profoundly ironic. WASF. What? That's funny. You too, Abe, and thanks for helping out in the chat too. I noticed the drama decreasing already. I think that storm is passing. I probably just cursed the whole channel, but we'll see. All right, I guess anybody have anything they want to close out on or leave us with
No,
final
I
thoughts,
guess it would
final
just be I'm
words? I
so
guess
glad
they're
I
the
don't
same
watch
thing
the
here.
news and
We could
haven't
just
watched
sit
for
and stare and
years.
not say anything.
I'm just
I guess
glad
I
I
could.
haven't watched the news for freaking ever and ever and ever now, and don't read newspapers or any of that horse shit either, because I can actually live a normal life.
Thank you, Austin. Yes, a normal life, our version of normal. I think that's what
Right.
this is about.
Our version of normal life.
Living your version
I
of
mean,
normal.
it's nice to
And
have the freedoms to be able to do that, but to me, it's just all horse shit. The newspapers and fucking news, everything. It's just
I guess I've always been
bad.
detached from that. I've never invested in it enough to feel disappointed by it.
Yeah. No, me neither. That's the whole thing. Is it never interested me, and then when I did, just kind of experimentally, like, would watch this and that, I'm just like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I grew up in a Fox News household, so I'm used to seeing the bubble like happen. I watched people watch Fox, and I watched the opinions they got from it, and I could tell who was in the Fox bubble and who wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They
gotta
also
say,
had a National Enquirer bubble before that. The people that took that seriously as news, and the people that didn't, and a
And
WWE
there were some
wrestling
people that would
bubble.
just watch it, read that as, and enjoy the stupid stories because
That
they
was
knew it was
us. We would
bullshit.
get it in college for fun,
Right.
and like as entertainment. But there were some people that like took it as
Yeah,
legitimate
it took it
news.
to heart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, I grew up in a Fox News house for the most part, but I grew up watching the news on my own anyway. So it'd just be like turn the TV on, flip to the news before school, see what the stories of the day were, type of stuff.
Because it was the
And
same ones all day long.
yeah, but then as I got older, I was like, I didn't really pay attention to what channel I was watching. To me, it was all just news. I didn't subscribe to a bunch of the shit they were talking about anyway. But then even later, it was like, oh my God, these channels are actually talking more about each other, drama style, than they are talking about the news. They're talking
Yeah.
about, oh, over here on this channel, this was their reaction. Ah ha ha, they're so dumb.
Right.
They
Right.
say that started with the elimination of the fairness doctrine. That's when that allowed that to start happening.
Oh, okay.
There's no
But yeah,
such
for
thing as
me,
not. There's no such thing as non-biased news. They always
yeah.
insert their own agenda, and you're supposed to just report the news
I don't
factually
know.
or
The
the news fact.
Hindustan Times seemed pretty unbiased. It was just full of just detailed factual information, like reading an encyclopedia article.
That's like LexisNexis. That's the only reason. That's the only place to really go anymore to get facts. You have to pay for it, but it's worth it.
I, I also
I
look at
don't use it, but
yeah. I look at it like this too. And it's when I look at something on the news, if it pertains to me, then I have to pay attention to it. I have to think about it. I have to do research and take action to protect myself. But so much of it just does not pertain to me directly. But that makes it a conversation piece, so that way you can interact with others to see what they think, and opinionate about it, just for the growth of thought. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I do understand that. But I just it's not worth it because it's just all political and all horse shit, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Have time. Gotta have time for it.
Yeah, see, like you're not wearing a watch, and I think that's fucking great because right there you're already just going, hey, I'm gonna do this shit and get it done. I don't fucking care what time it is. When it
Yeah.
gets dark, I'll come in, I'll get something to eat when I'm hungry, and I'll go to bed. I'll go to bed when I'm tired. That's it.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
Who's telling you otherwise? Yeah, we never had a curfew or a bedtime or meal
Really?
times. Like I'd
We
go to
did
my
have
friend's
that.
house and their family would sit around the table all together and have meals together. I thought that was so weird that everybody ate at the same time around a table.
We did at dinner time. Breakfast was like everybody, it's crazy. Dad goes to work at a different time. We go to school at a different time. So breakfast was just like whatever. And lunch was just all the same thing. You can't, you're at school, dad's at work, but everybody sat down for dinner, at 6 o'clock.
And did you have
Everybody
to
went.
like all leave the table at the same time or
No,
excuse yourself
no,
from the
no.
table?
Yes, we could always just
So
leave whenever, but
weird.
it was just nice. To be honest, I think that any kid could literally like grow from that. That's something that gets instilled in you, and
It was
it's
just,
the place for the family to really come together.
but it seems so. I
Because at
guess because
dinner
we
time
weren't
it's
like
good.
that any other time, it seems so artificial. We did it at my dad's, but it
It
was
depends on
awkward.
the
Like,
family. I mean, it's the family. It's entirely, it's that family structure. It depends on how you were raised as to how that. I'm just saying about like how mine was and how beneficial it really was. I look back at those times and I'm like, if I ever had kids, which I wouldn't now, but if I ever did have that, that's one thing that would be like a mainstay. I would keep that, do whatever you want, lunch, this and that, blah, 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 and breakfast, whatever. But hey, I want to see you at 6 o'clock when I come home because I care about you and I want to
Mm-hmm.
know how your day was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fast food killed the family dinner. And now we look what we get to eat instead of a nice family dinner.
Yeah,
like going to a
we always had
restaurant with the
family.
family and sitting around a table is fun. But do it at home. It just seemed weird.
No, it was great, man. Oh, it was awesome.
And
It was a matter of
we would like
practicality.
eat outside a lot and like sit around picnic tables and all eat crawfish and fish together. So we did that kind of eating, and so I think that's also the reason the indoor, like sitting around the table style, seemed weird because we did a different type of sitting
Well,
around
that's the
eating.
same type of thing, but I like that especially that it was something that like everybody loved, and like okay, you guys all liked crawfish and everything else, and it just those times they obviously stuck in your mind, and that was I
Yeah,
think it was a positive interaction, obviously.
Yeah, my friends, most of them grew up that way with set dinner times, family dinner times, and my household just wasn't that way. Um, but
Yeah.
can say I really did enjoy like playing after school with my friends, and his mom or whatever would say, "All right, boys, come in for dinner," and
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, in the early times, it was like, "Oh, okay, well, nice to see you. Holler at you tomorrow." And then his mom would be like, "Where are you going?" And I'd be like, "Well, you guys are going to eat." And she goes, "There's plenty. Come on in." And
Yeah,
from
that
then
was
on
normal
out,
yeah.
too. Just bring your
yeah,
friend.
from
Bring
yeah,
your
from
friend.
then on out, it wasn't any questions asked. If it was like, if I'm there and they're eating, I'm eating with them.
Right. They just automatically set you a plate at the table, and that's what it was. Because you cared. They cared. It was like that's perfectly fine. They're here. They're safe.
I
Have a
miss the
meal,
80s
and
so
if you
much.
These
need to
days,
call your
parents have
parents.
built.
And
Seen a
let them know
story
where
like
you're
that.
at,
Some
and let
kids.
them know that I'm feeding you, and that you'll be home afterwards. Something like that. It was just normal. It's like, oh, you're with him. Oh, okay, cool. Just
Yeah.
you're done with dinner or whatever, and they're probably gonna play some more, and then after that, send him home.
Yeah. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If, Jeff, you're gonna start winding it down. Maybe I'll see you on later.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be on later. I'm gonna
All right, cool.
take a break and Discord and chill for a little while and eat some
All right,
lunch.
take care, everybody.
See you
Take
later,
care, Attractable.
Untrackable. You take
Good
it
to see
easy,
you.
man.
Head, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, again,
Right on,
nice
man.
meeting you.
That's a cool little place you're at.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm glad we could be part of your body doubling.
Thanks for sharing it with us. Actually, I appreciate that. I love seeing old houses like that out in the middle of the woods and stuff. I love that kind of stuff.
Good, good, good to hear it. I thought you might get a kick out of it. That's why I came
Yeah,
on
Yeah.
today. I thought, well, I got to show him this.
Yeah,
yeah, I like
I
it.
loved it. You and Leggy both. I love seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Leggy
he's
shows
something
like
else, man. I
boats.
couldn't believe he got that goddamn garbage bag out after I was flipping him shit, dude. I was like, fucking
Man
rad,
doing
dude.
chores.
I wish somebody would give me that kind of shit and get me going sometimes.
Yeah.
I may have to
Well,
see
see,
that
that's
one. I
the
didn't
power of
see
a
that.
troll, bro. I was just playing. I wasn't trying to be ill-tempered or
Where you trolled him and
bad-spirited or
depleted
nothing.
his yard.
I was just having fun with it, man. You know?
Leggy's a good dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like Leggy.
You like it. Yeah. Well, enjoy your movie, Jeff. You guys
You,
have a good afternoon. I'll get off of here.
You
you
take it
two head.
easy and
Enjoy
be
your
careful
day.
out there,
I
man.
Right on.
hope you
Right on.
make
See you later.
progress.
Yes, sir.
See you later.
Have a good one.
All right, Cap.
Yeah, wind it down or whatever. So yeah, I may come in there and join that if you do Slackers.
Okay,
I don't
I'm at
know.
probably like 10 or 15 minutes. I'll get it going.
Yeah, see how many people you get in there or whatever. I either way, yeah, I'll.
Yeah. And then usually when I start it running, I'm on mute at that point because it echoes, and I won't be able to see Discord at all. So um, until the movie's over, there probably won't be a way to contact me.
No,
So
that's the way to do it, to be honest. And that way, everybody can just watch it, and then
yeah,
they
they can
can
come and go as they want.
later
Just
they can share their
if you
opinion
come in
or
and anybody's watching, just mute because sometimes there's an echo and it
yeah.
disrupts the movie.
Yep, good point.
All right,
All
well,
right,
cool.
buddy.
I'll
Well,
go
I'll
get
let you
that
go.
set up.
Okay, my
The
friend. I'll talk
quartz
to you soon.
sector. Mr. B, set it up here. This is a Nexus. You can, in fact, I don't have. Hang on, I'm going to show a picture. Uh, my favorite board game in the entire world is Cosmic Encounter. It was made in like 1973 or something, and there was an upgrade in 90 or 91. Um, by Mayfair Games, and it is the game that Magic the Gathering was based on. It is you're an alien race trying to take over the universe, and each alien has the power to break one of the rules of the universe. And so you have to exploit that little advantage that you have. And it's super fun. I've played it thousands of times. Their tagline is it's never the same game twice, and it is literally true. I've never seen a game where every game you play is so different from the game before it. There's just 1,000 possibilities that can happen. Sometimes a game can last for 2 hours, sometimes it's over in 10 minutes. It's like the Panelverse. I love this game so much. The open-endedness of it. And anyway, it's the game board is made of these little hexes, and this is the warp in the middle. And each player has a universe that attaches to the hex. And this is like the nexus. This is our channel. And so each person can come and attach their hex to the nexus. Like Joe was doing with his stocks, and some people do with their topic. And so if you start a court sector, come and attach yours to our nexus, and then that way you get that networking benefit from having like a centralized community. Oh, well, interesting enough, there's a version of Monopoly called Cosmic Monopoly where they combine Cosmic Encounter and Monopoly, and each Monopoly player gets a power to affect the Monopoly game, and it's a great introduction to Cosmic Encounter. You can look it up online, and on how to play Cosmic Monopoly, and you just play it with playing cards and a set of, and just the Monopoly dice, and that's super fun. So I hated Monopoly as a kid. That is the one game I've never been able to win. I don't know. I'm financially illiterate, retarded, and I cannot figure out the Monopoly game to this day. I know you're supposed to buy the property and put hotels and shit on it, and try to get the boardwalk, the ones at that end of the board, but I can't ever figure out how to win. And so I had the same frustrations with Monopoly. I had plenty of people to play it with, but I would never want to play it because I would always lose. Like, what's the fun in that? And use the money. No, it's not. It is not wrong at all. That's how you would cheat. Yeah, take your own little stash of money. That's good, though. Monopoly had the value of inspiring creative thinking. And are you a hacker by any chance today? Life. Do you know? Here's my curiosity about life, and somebody can answer this on the next stream. I like the old life where you had to spin the wheel and it would, and you drove up the little green mountains and the road would twist and turn. And the only thing I know about stocks is in the game of life, you could buy a thing called a stock, and you cover it. You cover 3 numbers on the board, and you spin the wheel, and if it lands on those 3 numbers, it pays off. So my whole life, that's what I thought stocks were. Like Wall Street, I thought that's the kind of stuff that they were trading on Wall Street. And at the end, you could drive to the little millionaire mansion. But all of you that remember that game of life know that at the beginning of the game, what did you have to do? You had to pick a color of the car, and what else? You had to decide if you were going to be a blue peg or a pink peg, a male or a female. And then you had your spouse. And so when you had your spouse, you would grab the opposite color of peg from you. And then you would have kids at some point along the way. You'd have to figure out what gender your kids are. I can almost guarantee that's not happening in today's life game. So what have they replaced that with in the game of life? Do they have rainbow pegs? Is it all one color peg? Did they get rid of the cars and pegs completely? That is what I'm burning to know and too lazy to research on my own. So I'm going to crowdsource that one. And you can let me know in the next stream. But I have a feeling the blue and pink life pegs are gone unless it's all trans. Like my theory is true and we are in fact all trans and everything's going to be pink and blue eventually. Because I would play the gay version of life where you put the boyfriend and the husband and the kids. So, yes, the game of life. And then Sorry was the other game that we really liked a lot. I was good at that one. Alrighty. I'm gonna go set up the movie. I'll probably be there in like 10 or 15, and we'll take it from there. Maybe we'll do a marathon. Oh my God, mousetrap! We never had it because they knew not to buy us a game with that many parts to it. But the neighbor kids had it. But they were missing one of the pieces, so we would put the whole mousetrap together, but we could never make it work because like one of the little pieces was missing. So we got, it's like a tease. We got almost the full mousetrap, but not a one that would function where we could see it do its Rube Goldberg thing. Oh right, the 3D print and Operation, that was another fun one. And I had the Jaws game, where it was a big plastic shark, and you fill his mouth up with plastic junk, and they even had a rubber tire. And he had like rubber bands that would hold his mouth together, and the junk would weigh down the mouth. And you had this hook, and you had to go in his mouth, and each person had to take turns pulling out junk. You'd have to hook it with the hook. And at some point, you knew if you pulled out one of those pieces of junk, it was gonna be enough to release the mouth and snap the jaw's mouth back, and you didn't want to be the one that got the hook snapped on him. 'Cause that was fun. That was a suspenseful game. That was really fun. And then the other one, what is it? Not pickup sticks. Kerplunk. It was like a glass tube, and you had all these pickup sticks shoved in these holes, and you put like a marble on top, and you gradually take turns pulling out the sticks. And at some point, that marble was going to fall through. You don't want to be the stick that made the marble fall. Yes, I will leave you all on that. We are all trans. Or I think what I mean by that is the categories going to expand to the point where I think it's going to happen with race too. I think at some point, race as a category is going to become irrelevant because we're all going to be non-white somehow or all white somehow. And I think that's going to happen with gender. We're all going to have enough of a mix where we're all going to be able to identify to that category at some point to where it's going to become irrelevant. So I'll let your mommy take it from there. And I'm going to go get ready to watch movies. All right, everybody. Thanks again, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care.